And Thunderbirds are go. We're recording. Hello there.
Right.
The enthusiasm. Hello there. I am Ash Mannix, and I'm with my ever so enthusiastic co-host, Kuxel.
I consider this somewhat ill-advised, but okay.
What, the you being enthusiastic or this whole video we're about to do?
Oh, just everything.
Yes. That is the story of my YouTube career. Um, And today, I thought it'd be cool to talk about the She-Hulk TV series that's out on Netflix. Um,
Half of it is out on Netflix at time of recording.
what is there
Episode
only going to be
3 came out yesterday.
6 episodes in total?
I don't know how many episodes there are going to be in total, but so far all of the Disney Plus MCU shows have had 6 episodes, apart from WandaVision, which had 9.
Oh, well,
But the first one of those was like 15 minutes, and the second one was like 20 minutes. So you know, they all add
so
up to a runtime of around 4 or 6 hours or something like that. Yeah, 6 hours.
all right, interesting. So my background on this, or I've approached this, is that I didn't have Disney Plus subscription until,
Until you accidentally got one.
which is kind of partly your fault. No, it's not your fault,
Yeah.
but it's because of
It was prompted by me. It
yes,
was
like there was like
prompted
some
by
sort of
me.
thing where it's like, oh, you could get so many months free, and I'm like,
What
all
it
right,
was and this is related to my whole debacle with my phone. But when I got my new phone, at long last, a phone which works, they gave me a sort of discount, not a discount. They gave me like a code thing where it says sign up with Disney Plus and get 6 months free or something. And then obviously it said new customers only. And then I looked the other way and I'm like, I already have Disney Plus. So I thought I'd give it to you.
and I was like, yay, thanks, because I was never going to pay for this, and then I clicked on it, and it's like, you don't have an account, and I'm like, wait, what? I need an account before I can use this, and so I got confused, and I created an account, and in the process of creating an account, I gave them my payment details, and I was like, okay, right, maybe it'll be the thing where I used the code. It will then give me 6 months free before charging or something. I was like, no, I clicked on the link again. It said, oh, you already have an account. You're not eligible. Mickey Mouse was literally laughing at me, and I went, fuck you, Disney. So, yeah, there's a quote of this video. Fuck you, Disney. I didn't want to pay for it, and now I'm paying
Somehow you
for it.
ended up with Disney Plus and you didn't even want it.
I know. I mean, I kind of there's some stuff I would like to watch in Disney Plus, but I mean, I have a Netflix
I still
subscription,
think it's a
and
good service, Disney Plus. But if you don't want it, you don't want it. You know, it's just straight up.
it's nice to be able to see. It's definitely the old Disney movies. Definitely stuff I used to watch in the past. It's great to have all that up there and available. Um, some of the shows that have came out, the TV series based on Marvel, like Loki and stuff like that. When they were coming out, like I had friends besides you, Kuxel, kind of saying, "Oh, you should watch that, watch this," and that's like I can't be bothered, right?
Have you watched it yet,
No,
Loki?
I have
Oh
not.
my god.
Uh, well, I live, man. I somehow live. Um, I just can't be bothered because, and I think part of it is I'm a lazy git, and it's hard to motivate me to watch a lot of stuff. Like I'm a anime man at heart, so and YouTube, I watch far too much random YouTube. So to watch kind of these TV series is a bit of a thing, and then there's so many Marvel related TV series that have came out in the last couple of years, and you need to really watch a few of them. I watched WandaVision, and that was because I watched it with my friend who has subscription for Disney, and that was cool. I enjoyed that, and you kind of really needed to watch that to watch Doctor Strange
Yeah, it's a
2.
prerequisite viewing.
There was another one. Loki had something as well, which is relevant to something that pops up in the movie, and I was like, I'm not watching all of Loki for this. but yeah, like when it's now getting to this point where it's not just that you really need to watch a good few of the Marvel movies beforehand before you watch a new one. It's you need to also have watched these TV series, and it was already a big ask.
I
Um,
think that's a serious topic which a lot of people have been taking into issue because it is becoming quite cumbersome. The amount of stuff that there's there. There's a lot of shows now, and each one of them is about 6 hours long. So you've ended up with a lot of potentially required viewing.
yeah, and it just puts me right off. Like, when you when you start something, so it's like if you were going in, if you were playing, if for some reason you wanted to play Metal Gear Solid 5, right? Straight. No, let's say Metal Gear Solid 4, right? Since you've been doing streams on your channel, do look up Kuxel's channel. I'll put a link to his channel in the description. He is doing a stream of the Metal Gear Solid series. It's amazing. We've done up to
We've
MGS
just
4.
finished it.
Yeah, technically we finished it, and later
Cross
to
promotion, y'all.
and on later tonight, Friday, 2nd of September, 2022, we're going to do a stream of Metal Gear Rising, which
Mate,
is
I imagine that by the time this goes up, that stream will have been done.
oh, so watch that. That stream will be up. So anyway, watch that series.
I mean,
I'll
you're
put
not streaming this live, are you? I thought this
no,
is a
no,
recording.
it's not. It's not live. Um,
Right.
so this will go up
So,
whenever. So watch
so
that whenever you just accept the cross promotion, even if it's bad and
I'm just,
useless.
I'm just saying, you need to talk like we're in
Right,
the future.
look, go to Kuxel's channel. He has good stuff. My face appears there sometimes too. um,
Thank you very much.
but
Um, uh, where were we? Yes, Metal Gear Solid 4, coming to it without playing anything else.
is a big ask, right? You can still enjoy it, but you will not enjoy it anywhere near compared to someone who has played the whole series. And that is a big ask if you're coming at MGS4 and the Phase 4. I think we're in Phase 4 of Marvel.
We are in Phase 4 of Marvel.
A lot of these films that are coming out now are asking for
Which
this type of stuff.
let's define these phases, shall we? If the phases 1 to 3 of Marvel's cinematic universe, the MCU, were the beginning, middle, and end of the whole Thanos Infinity Stones arc,
Mhm.
then Phase 4 is the beginning of this new Secret Wars arc.
Now, you might be more knowledgeable about the Marvel lore because again, this is all based
Comics.
on the comics, right? From a while back, like this stuff happened.
Very, very loosely, but yes.
Yeah, it's loosely based, but it's like this is where they're getting their the ideas from. Like,
It's a straight up adaptation.
mhm.
Not not a straight adaptation, sorry. It is an adaptation of the source material being the comic storylines which have been going on for I don't know. I'm not a comic person. I haven't read these comic books. I only have a copy of the Infinity Gauntlet up there on my shelf because I thought let's get it because Infinity War and Endgame were pretty good.
Hey, it's good enough reason if any.
And I
But
haven't read it yet.
having said that, right, this all of this is culminated in me and Kuxel watching the She-Hulk TV series, which forms part of.
I have watched everything so far. Wait. I have watched everything so far except Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I haven't watched season 3 of Daredevil and I haven't watched any of the other Netflix Marvel shows.
Which aren't canon in the most part. Some parts
They
might
are
become
semi-canon.
semi-canon.
At the very
Yeah.
least, Daredevil is.
Well, Daredevil is canon kinda because he's appeared in Phase 4 Marvel stuff.
Yeah, and now She-Hulk has made the Incredible Hulk canon again when it was considered non-canon for some time. So here we go.
Yeah,
I think what is canon and what isn't canon is a complicated topic now.
what they're doing, and I believe this happened in the comic book industry, is that they're making it so convoluted that it's hard for people to jump in at a point and just kind of know what's going on and understand what's going on. There's a lot of kind of references, inside jokes, all sorts of things that you'd be totally lost. And I think the comics industry, Marvel, when these comics were coming out, it was a big issue. Was it? I don't know if it's DC or Marvel, but they had this massive reset. I cannot remember what the. I've just heard people online talking about this. There was a massive reset where they kind of reset everything in the comic
Yeah,
books.
I understand that was just, to try and get new people in because once the comics have been going on for a good long time, it becomes cumbersome. There's a lot of continuity to follow. Like just to get, hang on, yeah, just to get the Infinity Gauntlet comic, I also had to get the comic that's a prerequisite reading, the Silver Surfer Rebirth of Thanos, and that is in continuation. That is in continuity of something else as well. Which I didn't get because I'm like, fuck it. If I keep doing this, I'll end up buying literally every comic ever.
Yep. So that I've not watched most of the TV series stuff. I'm just jumping in here. The thing about She-Hulk is you need to have watched kind of Infinity War stuff, um, things relevant to the Hulk movies, because
Oh
there are
boy.
references to that.
Okay.
And
Okay. First of all, you need to be up to date with the Hulk's character development, which is basically his character development from the Incredible Hulk, Avengers 1, Avengers 2, Thor Ragnarok, Infinity War, Endgame.
Endgame, yeah. Well, Endgame is where
He
you
became
see
Smart
his
Hulk.
final form. His current form,
His current form is not
smart,
final yet.
quote unquote smart Hulk.
That is what they're calling him, isn't it?
Yes,
Smart Hulk.
smart Hulk.
Because in the run up to Endgame, people were calling him Professor Hulk, which is, I think, what they
I
call
bet
him
I
in the
like that.
comics.
That sounds more right to me, Professor Hulk.
Well, I think that's what they call this form of his in the comics, but they're going for Smart Hulk in the TV and movies, I think.
So um, yes, there are prerequisites. But anyway, I've seen this talked about a lot on the YouTube channels that I watch. Some have even popped up that I didn't watch before that are talking about it, and I went, do you know what? I I watched the She-Hulk cartoon series in the 90s,
Now
early
that's
2000s.
interesting to me. Did you?
Yeah, I quite liked it. I mean, I didn't watch the whole series. I watched bits of it as it and when it came out on whatever godforsaken TV channel I was stuck with at the time.
So
Um,
my only previous experience with the She-Hulk character was from Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
oh, well, I mean,
And she's not a character I ever played as. So there we are.
I mean, I thought
I
she was
played as
cool.
the Hulk. I played as the Hulk in that. He was sick.
I was a young guy, big, strong, fit-looking, green, crazy Hulk woman. Yeah. Um,
Uh-huh.
well, I mean, that's uh, I quite
That
appreciate
does
that.
that does go far to explain your tastes a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. It's just like I've got all these muscly like
Let me
green
see.
alien uh toys in my room or something like that. But yes, anyway, I quite liked her. She seemed pretty cool. I don't know. I can't remember the cartoon scenes that well, but I just remember watching it. Actually, I can since we are showing this,
I didn't know there was a cartoon series of her and I watched the fucking Spider-Man cartoon series from that
yeah,
time
it's
period.
around that time period. Yeah, so let's see. We will see. We'll get her in her suit. There you go.
Eh,
Oh, maybe it wasn't Fox Kids or something. Uh,
probably because that's what Spider-Man was on.
yeah, and she popped in some the.
By the way, I don't think you realize this, but all I'm seeing is your Google image search. I'm not seeing what you're currently looking at.
Oh, interesting. Ah, well, you can see on OBS. Let me just.
You're sharing the wrong screen to me, is what I'm saying.
Give me a sec. I stop that. I'm gonna share screens applications. I thought I was sharing an application to you. How about now?
Yeah, I can see it
Now, if
now.
I
Oh,
change it, oh, I'm showing you. How am I showing you that? Oh,
It'll do.
see how well. Oh, like this one for God's sake. Right now, if I switch it, can you see the?
Okay. Yes, I can see it now.
Right,
I
okay.
can
So I'm
see the.
showing you
Oh,
the.
okay. That looks like something from the X-Men, basically.
She would have appeared around probably in some of their. She might have
Maybe. I
appeared in
only
this.
ever
She's
watched a
appeared.
few of those.
So even in these clips, you can see that she's appeared next to the Fantastic Four in their cartoons and stuff like that.
I never watched the Fantastic Four
I
cartoons,
watched it.
so
I watched that, man. That's probably maybe it was my time because I'm a little bit older than you. And do you know I don't have much of a selection of TV channels. Maybe this came out on the terrestrial TV channels more than.
I have to wonder because this was all Fox Kids, and
Hmm.
as I remember, you didn't have Sky for a long time.
I didn't have it for a long time. Yeah, some of these things did come on normal TV, terrestrial TV in the UK. You know,
Uh-huh.
free TV, wherever it was. Um, Even though it's showing Fox Kids, and I would have watched it on there at that point, I think. But yeah, so that's the kind of how I was first introduced to this character, and now she's got her own TV series where she twerks, and
You just
so
want to jump straight to the twerking, do you?
well, let me just let's go with this one. See what this page, The Guardian, whatever. Oh, 4 out of 5 stars, fair enough. Right. So one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this, besides obviously clickbait, not click. Well, I know people are talking about it, so probably a relevant thing to talk about. It's in the zeitgeist. But me and Kuxel have watched this, the first 3 episodes, and a lot of people were slating this, and I can see.
I do want to point out one thing. When we watch anime, we tend to have a rule where we say watch 3 episodes, see if you like it.
Do
If
you?
not, well, me and my brother have that
All
rule.
right.
We
Okay.
say if you've watched 3 episodes, you've gotten a decent amount to understand what the show is like, and from there you can understand whether it'll be appealing to you or not.
I mean, sometimes
It's a good
things.
amount to give something a shot. Although I have to say, I think 3 episodes of what could potentially be a 6 episode series is a greater proportion than 3 episodes of
Yeah.
an anime series, which is
Half it.
typically 12 episodes or 24.
And these are like 30 minutes. I think the first episode was 45 minutes. So like you're giving it a good chance to
I will give any Marvel series a good chance right now because I have a lot of goodwill coming off the whole MCU Infinity Saga, whatever you want to call it, the storyline that ended with Endgame, and I've been enjoying the series that have been on Disney Plus and the movies which have been coming out lately. Even if people have not been enjoying them as much, and even if I do agree that they're not up to the level of quality as the previous ones, I do think they are still good for
I
the
don't
most part.
I mean I don't 100%. I don't disagree with you, but I don't 100% agree with you. I think there's a couple of ones. No, there's one that I can think of, one movie, The Eternals, that you're like, that's quite good, and I'm like, mate, well, I haven't watched it though, so I can't
Now,
really
I
say
would say
anything.
that I would watch a second Eternals. I think they've shadow cancelled
Shadow
it
Bandit from the Marvel
basically.
universe.
Well, that fits with the ending of it as well. But they've sort of stricken it off the record. They're like, don't worry about the Eternals. At the same time, I believe She-Hulk episode 2 went out of its way to show that one consequence of the Eternals is still there, which was the giant celestial just sticking his hand out of the earth. He's still there apparently, and just
Is
people haven't done anything about it.
is he? All right, I've not seen it. Maybe I should watch it, but I heard it was bad and I didn't.
It okay. Here's the thing about the Eternals: whether it's bad or good is not the point. It, for the most part, is boring as fuck, and that's worse than being bad.
Yeah, if something's bad, you can at least enjoy it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
enjoyed that movie that came out recently, the stupid one about the moon crashing into the earth.
Oh,
Moonfall?
yeah.
Moonfall. Right. That movie is one of the worst movies I've seen in my entire life, and I enjoyed every second of it. It was hilarious.
What did I enjoy recently? Oh, I enjoyed the Dragon Ball Super Superhero.
Oh,
Not,
yes, that movie was great.
I enjoyed it because it was good. I mean, it's not. I mean, there's definitely you could argue there's like weaknesses to it, but I fucking was just like, yeah, like just it was fun. It was fun. It was adorable. It was a good ride. And by the end of it, I was like, wow,
Was
I
what
feel
I've
good.
wanted from Dragon Ball for a while.
I just felt good coming out of that cinema.
Yeah,
Which is
I would watch that again.
yeah, which most things like when I'm watching a movie, that's kind of if you know for if it's going to be a serious and sad movie, that's different. But for most movies, like action movies, you kind of want to feel good, or at least feel like you've enjoyed the movie. But coming
Let's
back,
come to the point.
coming
Let's
back to
come to the
Miss.
point. Episode 1 of She-Hulk Attorney at Law. What did you think of it?
So, well, I'm going to preface this by saying a lot of people are shitting on this.
A lot
I
of people are shitting on
so
this
which made
series at
me
the moment.
want to watch it because I was just curious to see if it was going to be as bad as people were suspecting at the time, and then saying after the first episode came out. And I watched it and I was like, this is all right.
Yeah.
But and I was like, her character seems a bit shit. There's aspects of it that seem shit, right? And I was like, but this looks like they're setting her up for an arc in her character. You know, there she's a bit kind of like she's very fucking sharp with Bruce, right?
She displayed an arrogance about herself, and shall we say things got a little bit political. No, I
There,
don't want to talk about
yeah, there were some
politics.
things
I
she
don't want to
said.
talk about the female experience because that's not an experience which I will ever have or understand. But I will say that she came off as incredibly arrogant in that scene.
It's
Uh,
yeah,
I do think though that was what the show was going for, despite the fact that quite a lot of people have praised her and what she said and said that they shares
I,
those experiences. It may be true, but I
I
felt the
think
show was going to actually set her up to let her have a fall afterwards based on that.
so. After the experiences she talks about, without going into too much detail, like all of them are relevant and real, and all people. I don't think I have any issue with that. It's how she frames it against Bruce, where
Yeah,
it's like, look, I've had all of these issues, and it does not compare. It is far greater than what you've gone through, and we like
which
I
is just not true.
no and people did, and she's his cousin. It's not like she's someone that doesn't really know him. Okay, so she will know a lot of stuff that's happened in his personal life. She will know some at least of the stuff that he's gone through over the years, and she did. She's talked about it. It's like, oh, you were this, you were away for these many years. Didn't this happen? She's mentioned a couple of things where like it shows that she is aware of some of the shitty things that have happened to
Yeah, I
him
would
and
have
all that.
hoped that someone of her intelligence would have realized that the army coming to kill you is a greater peril than, I don't know.
But there's even stuff apparently the backstory of Bruce when growing up, his parents, his father. There's a lot of bad stuff there. I don't know if this is based purely on the comics. I think it is mentioned in some of the movies at some
I've
point.
not seen any of this, not in this
It's I've
series and not in the movies,
it
so
might have
I'm not
been. Do you
sure
know
what you're
the
talking about.
original shit Incredible Hulk that didn't have?
Well, I am sorry to say that is completely irrelevant to this discussion.
I don't. No, I mean this like the comic book backstory of
The comic book backstory is not the backstory of this character on TV or movies.
but it is hinted towards in one of the Marvel movies.
In the Marvel movies, we've seen him in The Incredible Hulk, which I should rewatch, by the way, because I haven't watched that in years. And
Because I
generally, if I go to watch the Marvel series, I usually ignore that movie because, like I said, it was considered non-canon for a long time.
though I think as it might some of it might be canon because I don't know. This is the
No, it's definitely canon. As of episode 2 onwards, they go back to what happened in that movie in quite a lot of detail.
so anyway. I mean, I think that's why what people find it. And I was like, and I watched that scene. I was like, ah, man, that's a what a horror. I mean,
Yeah, but I came from
but
that scene thinking that this series is trying to say that look, she's more arrogant, she needs to be taken down a peg.
yeah, and this is what I'm saying. Like, I did
She
go,
needs to understand what Bruce is talking about because Bruce is saying as a Hulk you will have new experiences, not great ones.
yeah,
Let me teach you about that.
and like that's the thing. Like, what I was gonna say is that I was just like, oh, what she's saying, but it makes sense in my head with this character arc where, like, first of all, she's gonna have a massive life change, and she was like, I'm just gonna carry on with life. I'm gonna just be a lawyer and not do this Hulk thing, and I'll be fine. Which was
Not
naive,
which was naive
and
at the very
at the
least.
very least to think that you're gonna be able to just continue without any massive change to your life. And then we're shown that straight after when she goes back to work. She takes on the court case that she talks about at the beginning of the episode, and then she has to Hulk out, which was the right thing to do. And she does hesitate. She's like, "Oh my god," but she did the right thing and she saved the people. And like,
I have to say one thing. Only taken with the second episode onwards, that scene to me seems a little out of place because when I first watched the first episode, what am I talking about? First watch. When I watched the first episode, I've only seen it once. That scene stuck. I thought she had already debuted as the She-Hulk, and that this
ah,
was just something that happens. Like, maybe she's doing a trial, and then random villain of the week shows up, and she's like, Hulk smash, and then puts her high heels on. Um, but no, that was apparently her debut. That was the first moment she became the She-Hulk in the courtroom, in the public, and people found out.
yep.
I do
Uh,
like the ripped sleeve. It's a nice
I
visual.
mean, some people have said she went like she doubled in size and only the sleeve ripped. But oh,
Look,
and there was
I'm
another
not.
thing that you noticed as well, which was funny, and I didn't think about it until you mentioned it. I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah, I've just alluded to it right now, but I'm not going to criticize the show for keeping her clothes
aye, because they do that with
intact
the Hulk, don't they?
because
With these,
no, not just that, but it's a Disney Plus show. It's going to be tending for aiming for a younger audience at the very least, like not 15 plus, maybe 12 plus.
oof,
So I do think that they will be keeping clothes intact. We're not going to get a lot of blood, a lot of guts, and certainly not a lot of profanity, and we're not going to get much in the form of nudity. So we can leave it at that. We could just put it as cartoon physics on the clothes.
I don't know. I would have thought so. Like they had this discussion in that episode when
Yeah,
she
they
was
said
with
spandex is your
spandex.
friend.
So I would have thought she'll wear spandex undergarments, like shirt and trousers, bottoms, and so that if the clothes rip off, you have the spandex underneath, and you'd just be, or maybe she's wearing the suit. Well, she's not wanting to be a superhero, but she could wear whatever her suit if once she becomes, if she decides to become a superhero at some point. And by the way,
They're
it's
just going
it's
to keep it to her as
it's
well
a
because
minor nitpicking, and I was like, yeah, do you know, I'm not that bothered. Whatever. You do. She doesn't like to wear socks though, or tights.
those are probably ripped.
No, because because like,
I can imagine you can get away with ripping those to shreds.
because there was a scene where she takes, well, in this scene she takes off her shoes and she's not wearing any. I
her
thought
her
that I thought
paralegal, her friend slash paralegal slash co-worker colleague says, "Give me your shoes." So she gives her shoes so that she doesn't rip them, and then she very in a very sassy manner walks back to put them on. And I saw people talking about that on Twitter, and they were enjoying that, and I'm like,
some people
all
enjoying
right
that. I
then.
was like, I know what that was there for. I was like, these people know. I'm like, fair enough, fair enough. I mean, and we got
Getting
to
a lot
see.
of mixed messages from this show.
I know. You know what? And I kind of, I wouldn't have watched this, right? I'm going to be honest. I don't think I would have really watched this if there wasn't such a, you know, uh, furor,
Aurora.
a discussion, such a big discussion about the whole thing.
The term you're looking for is zeitgeist, and I enjoy the
I
zeitgeist.
mean, it's in the zeitgeist, isn't it? The zeitgeist it's captured their attention, and there's a lot of,
Hmm.
opinions being bandied about it. And I'm like, do you know what? I
And
like
you're getting everyone on the internet. You're getting the people who are extreme man babies. You're getting entitled feminists. You're getting all sorts from all across the board throwing in their 2 cents. And what that means is Disney's making a lot of money.
yeah, I mean, I didn't get the subscription just to watch. I wasn't trying to get a subscription just to watch this, but having accidentally got a subscription with Disney
May as
Plus,
well watch it.
I thought, yeah, because we had talked about it. I've watched a lot of quite a few of the people I watch online on YouTube have talked about it numerous times, and I'm like, "Do you know what? I I can see what they're saying, but I don't think I just want to watch it. I want to
All
see
right.
big green
All right.
CGI She-Hulk.
I
I'm like,
just want
yes.
to I just want to put my point out there because this waffling is getting to me. It's a decent show, okay? It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It does get a little bit over itself, but it's fine. It's enjoyable. It's fun. That's all that a show needs to be. It's a way to kill a few hours. I'm not going to watch it again, maybe, but we'll see. I like it. I also like the unique perspective it provides, in that we get a little more of what the civilians of this universe see. We don't usually get to see that. In another sort of allusion to Metal Gear, we don't usually see that much. Maybe in Spider-Man we see what the civilians see, but otherwise we're generally in SHIELD headquarters or Avengers Tower with these characters, or Asgard, whatsoever. And I like seeing the normal life perspective, and the normal life perspective that's presented in this show is showing, like, you know, these people saying, hey, these superheroes are kind of all over the place. We need to actually make laws to deal with this shit. As brilliantly shown in episode 3, when they tried to arrest Wong and he's like, fuck you guys, and just portaled himself out of there.
They didn't. We'll get to that. I apologize. Look, I like to waffle. My channel is full of waffling, if you don't know, so I do apologize. I know Kuxel.
I need some structure.
Well, so Kuxel likes to be succinct as well. I am the total opposite, so he sits there in silent anger. But yeah, like the end of this episode, and he did this quickly, and I was like, fair enough. I didn't expect it to happen so soon. She had to reveal who she is. She saved the jury. They did an Iron Man, right? And I say an Iron Man because in Iron Man 1, and this did blow my mind at the time. At the end, spoiler alert if you haven't watched Iron Man 1, but you know, it's been a while. At the end of the movie, he's having the press conference.
He reveals who he is.
Oh, fuck. Kuxel, don't
just get to the point,
what, man. I was literally about to say it. What the hell? He's standing there. They're like, all right, who's Iron Man? Is he your bodyguard? What's happening? And he's got this thing, and he's going to make up an excuse, which is like what's in the comics and the cartoon, I think, had it as well. And he just went, fuck it, I'm Iron Man. And it ended there, and I was just like, yes. So
all right, do you have there's a bit of trivia about that, which is that the original way the scene was written, he was actually supposed to keep his identity a secret, but Robert Downey Jr., the actor himself, thought fuck it and just said, I'm Iron Man.
Wow.
And they decided to follow from that point onwards.
Wow. Fucking awesome.
So yeah,
I was floored because I was expecting what they were going to do, because that's the way I think the comics went, and there's a long period of time, I don't know if it's ever revealed that he is Iron Man, probably is, but for a long time it was he's his bodyguard or automated something or other.
I don't know. I believe that the comics still keep the secret identity trope up, whereas the MCU has not for a long time, and the only person who does is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
In fact, that's one of the things I like about the MCU, that it does actually do away with these old superhero tropes that just says, look, these are the people, and they're trying to exist in normal life with their secret identities open.
Yeah, it did. You know, it makes it interesting. I think so. The She-Hulk, I think, is trying to do the same thing, right?
She was trying to keep it hidden, but it wasn't so much that she wanted to be a secret superhero, in as much that she didn't want to ever use the She-Hulk power ever again.
She doesn't want to be a superhero. A lot of people said this is very different from, apparently in the comics she does when she becomes a superhero. I you know, I don't mind. I mean, it's
okay, but this is episode 3 of a series, right? It may be that by the end of it, she's decided to be a superhero. In fact, I'll be very surprised if she doesn't.
I like how she's like, no. I just, you know, I quite like it. She just wants to be normal. Makes sense. I mean, to a degree, you can understand a lot of people like, I don't want my whole life to change. I can
understand it.
Yeah,
I can understand it. I hate the idea of being in the public eye, or people knowing who I am, or, you know, seeing every detail of my life. So at that point, I can understand that. She just wants to be a lawyer doing lawyer things. She wants to pay off her student loans. She wants to live in a house and just do stuff. She wants to chill. She wants to follow Instagram people, I suppose. And then this She-Hulk power gets given to her by accident, and she learns how to control it very quickly. And now the question is, whatever. We've had a million origin stories which go about learning how to control it. The whole Incredible Hulk movie is about that. Fast forward that shit. It's boring. We just want to see her with the power.
I do think there is. Now they might not need to do it that way.
There's a point to be said now that there are way too many origin stories. We have the Batman. It fast forwarded past that. He is now the Batman from the beginning. We don't need to see his parents getting shot again. We know the Batman is. Let's just see him be the Batman. Same thing with Spider-Man, this new one. Tom Holland, his version of Spider-Man. We didn't see the origin story. We just saw him as Spider-Man from Civil War and then in Homecoming. I prefer this. We know who the characters are. Just get to it. Let's see them
one
do
or the
stuff.
other, right? One is where you see the origin story, and 2 is they're already the thing. So if they started with her as She-Hulk, I'd like it. Fair enough. Cool. We don't need to see that.
Well, they
No,
sort of
they
did because
showed.
they first showed us her, and then she said, "This is what happened to make me the She-Hulk." And then there was
Ah,
that whole
yeah.
extended
If they
flashback.
didn't do the extended flashback and she just went, "I'm the She-Hulk," yeah, but they
Yeah,
did.
but at the same time, it's still one entire episode that was given to it.
Yeah, and it's still showing the her
I think
origin
it's
story.
meeting in the middle. I think it's meeting in the middle. It shows you how she got the power. It also shows her controlling it, learning how to control it, and then here we are. We're now
So,
seeing her live with it.
which is fine. I just think if they're going to do it, showing some, maybe giving some more time to it, or just don't show it at all. Just have her talk about it. The breaking the fourth wall thing is something she does in the comics a lot as well, and I quite like that. It's interesting.
I like
Um,
that. I haven't seen Deadpool yet. I need to. I understand that Deadpool does it, and
Dead and these again
probably
these
does, possibly does it better, mainly because he's Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Reynolds is fucking
yeah,
hilarious. Um, but yeah,
but yeah, she is the Hulk. I do like how she's like, I don't want to be a hero. She tries to be normal, and then they just go no. What I didn't like in episode one was the bad woman, the bad person, the
she was
antagonist that
there
came.
for all of
I know,
10 seconds.
I was just like, what are you wearing? I don't know
You're
what that.
like, yeah, it was like
It's
she's
just
in a serious courtroom, and then suddenly the '80s attacked,
yeah.
and
Honestly, that outfit just. I don't. I look. I don't know. Right. Leave a comment. What did you guys think of the outfit and the way that what's her name? I know it's Jamila Jamil's actress. I don't know the name.
Titania.
Titania, right? Comes in and is just like, and I'm like, it
I don't know.
feels
I don't
like
like that they
really
pronounced it as Titania. It should be Titania, but whatever.
Titania. But right, we'll go Titania, right? Just but like
No, they pronounced it as Titania in episode 2, so it is Titania. Just
for
like Raiden is Raiden in Mortal Kombat, despite being pronounced Raiden everywhere else.
but right, Titania. How she appears and how she looks, I was like, what? And then she does a flying kick, and I'm like, now, I don't pick on these things. I have a, you know me, I have a high tolerance for a lot of like shit animation and anime and stuff. I don't, but a lot
It
of things
wasn't even
don't bother me.
animation. It was almost like
But
fucking pulling him on a rope and
but
having them fly across the screen,
which
Kung
is
Pao
what
style.
I mean. That's how they do it. But like you know how in anime I have a really high tolerance for a lot of stuff. I looked at that and went, "What the fuck was that? That was shit." The rest of the episode was fine, and I'm not bothered. The CGI seemed fine. I know people were commenting on that. I was like, it's all right for me for a TV series. That bit there, I was like, "What the fuck was that? That looked terrible."
Some of the CGI to me looks pretty off.
I
I know that Marvel has had a rough run with CGI lately, mainly because
I
of the
think
way
they're
they contract their studios. But
they're also abusing, supposedly, allegedly,
yeah,
not taking care of their
like I
animators.
said, because of the way they contract their studios. I do think that the CGI has suffered since Endgame. Endgame was fantastic. Like half, if not more, of that movie was CGI. But since then, it's definitely diminished in quality. The worst example I can think of was Thor: Love and Thunder. A lot of the CGI in that looked fucking awful.
Really? Again, this is me showing that I just high tolerance for these things. It doesn't really bother me too much.
Okay, but the She-Hulk, I think
This is
looks
a TV series
okay.
as well, man. I
Yes,
mean,
with a TV series, you have to have a lesser expectation because it's not a movie level. It's a
I,
TV
and
series,
the
even if it
She-Hulk.
is by Disney.
The most important CGI for me is the She-Hulk herself, and she's
Yeah.
fine. Maybe she could be better. Probably she could be better. I'm not that
For
bothered.
me, here's the thing. For me, she's like 90% of the way there. But the problem I have with her is that she animates like a cartoon character rather than a human being sometimes.
Hmm. I need
And I
to.
know she is a cartoon character. She's a fucking CGI green giant lady. But
The best type of giant lady.
green giant.
Yeah. Or blue. Or purple. I don't give a fuck. Well, preferably
Anyway,
purple because I'm purple, but
the point being, well, green and purple, they're complementary colors.
guess. Oh, so I should go for. Yeah. Oh, she was made for me. I was made for her. There you
Carrying on, I found you a new waifu.
go.
Anyway, carrying on. Yeah, I feel like she's 90% of the way there in terms of CGI quality. They've done a lot to make her look natural, I think. I especially like the scenes where she just exists, like walking in the office in a suit or something like that, instead of fighting. I think those are the best parts. I just
Yeah,
enjoy
just
watching
her.
her do stuff.
It's interesting seeing her being a 7 foot tall
Normal
Amazonian
person.
woman. Walking around doing her thing,
Yeah.
um, but just like obviously having that impressive presence, right? Um,
I do think that when they transform her into the She-Hulk character, they take a little away from what the actress looks like to make her look more like the comic book
yeah,
character.
she looks more like the comic book a bit more
And
like the comic book character.
I think that is actually what's getting me because it does look like someone else entirely, especially that hair. It goes from
Oh,
curly to
because
wavy almost.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the thing is, she didn't have curly hair. I don't. I think the in the car like I can only base it on the cartoon, which might be totally different from the comic. But she had the same type of hair. It's not black, but it was straight hair. And so when she becomes the Hulk, She-Hulk, she just grows it out a bit, and obviously the style, whatever.
So I would
Um.
have liked it if they adapted the design of the She-Hulk to look more like the
Oh.
actress.
Oh. Well, I don't know if that's her normal hairstyle either. I've seen
The
her at
actress?
interviews. Yeah, I saw her in an interview. Now I might be wrong, but I saw an interview and she had straight hair. I don't know if that's her normal hair or is straight, or if it's normally curly like that, and if they've chosen to make it curly like that for the show. Um,
I have no idea who this actress is. I've never seen her before.
Neither have
So,
I. It was just like I was watching a video and they had
and
her giving an interview
I
for it.
should also state for the record, I am not the kind of person who seeks out interviews and statements and all these sort of things. I don't bother with the actors outside of things usually.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I didn't
I
seek
haven't
this
seen
out.
her outside
I
of
was
this.
watching another YouTube video where they were featuring. It was an image or something or a clip from an interview. I watch a lot of YouTube videos in there and there. I don't go out of my way because I'm a lazy bastard. But
That's going out of your way. You're watching YouTube videos
I,
about this stuff.
no, but not really. I'm just watching what's recommended to me. I don't
Which
go
is
out
the stuff
seeking. It's
the
just because
stuff which is recommended to you is based on your preferences. In a way,
and
you are seeking it out.
the channels I'm subscribed to, and these people
Yeah, so
talk
you
about
have
these
sought these
things.
people out.
I've sought those people out. I have not sought out the She-Hulk stuff.
Right, but those people will be talking about things like this and other movies and TV series. So you will be seeking that stuff out just by virtue of the fact that you've subscribed to these
So
channels
there's
to
a
see what they're
difference
talking
between
about.
passive, right? So I've actively either way, it doesn't matter. I don't go out of my way when a new IP comes out. Maybe I've already set the things in place that it comes to me now. Um, but it's not. It's effortless now. So I saw it. It was
It's
interesting.
automated.
Yes, it's the Google machine AI
Yes.
telling me, feeding me what it thinks I want to see.
Somewhere at Google HQ, there is a dedicated section of the computer which is processing just for you. And it's like,
Uh,
I will find out something for you.
it
What will
it,
you
it
like?
knows
What is
me.
Ashmanix going to be into?
It knows
And
me.
that is why your feed is the way it is.
It knows me more than an intimate lover. But actually, I've got a separate account just for Ashmanics, and that one I don't get these type of. I get absolutely degenerate recommendations. So basically, the AI is doing its job well. But having said that, yeah, that was going back to episode one. That was my only thing I really didn't like. I didn't like the look of Titania. Is that right? Titania.
That's how
Uh,
they said it.
and I didn't like that her one action scene where she does the flying kick. It just looks super bad. I
I
can't even
hope
explain it.
I hope that's some kind of running trope they do with her, where it just her fight scenes look terrible.
It might.
Um,
This is the thing. It might be right, and that'd be cool. Fair enough. But yeah, I mean, ending episode one, right? Is there anything else you want to say about episode one before we jump to episode two?
is there anything else I want to say about episode one?
Just specific. We can go back to things if it's relevant, but
I enjoyed seeing the return of the Hulk, Bruce Banner. He is
yeah.
a secondary character in this series, but he is still somewhat main. And it was interesting to see what he's been doing since Endgame. His arm's still fucked. He has a machine which allows him to transform back to himself. That is his human form, which was damaged in the car crash. He lives in some kind of beach hut, which he set up with Tony Stark apparently. And
Mm-hmm.
because it's Tony Stark, underground there's some kind of secret lab where he can do whatever work he needs to do.
Yep.
I like that. That was a very, very nice follow up to their relationship because Tony and Bruce did have a friendly relationship with each other, which I feel like fell off a bit and wasn't focused on as much later on. partly because the Hulk disappeared for some years.
Age of Ultron, that was the one where they spent a lot of time together, didn't they? Because they inadvertently created him. So you see a bit of their back and forth banter
Hmm.
on their different and their differing opinions on certain things, and they're kind of falling out a little bit in that. And then after that, you don't see as much of that.
Yeah, yeah, that was actually it because at the end of Age of Ultron, the Hulk flies off in a Quinjet into space, uh, and we don't see him again until Thor Ragnarok, and then he falls to Earth and warns everyone about Thanos. So that's what happens there.
Mhm.
And in the 5 years of between Infinity War and Endgame, we don't actually see what happens on the Earth at that time.
So yeah, I mean, we can go on to episode 2 now, I think.
Yep, episode 2, where the story actually starts.
So now I'm trying to remember. I've just watched episode 3. Episode 2, um,
Okay,
she's
after
well,
her fight scene in the
was
court of law, she gets fired by she gets fired by her law firm because she has inadvertently prejudiced the jury, uh, and they don't want any high-profile lawyers.
so to be more specific, I think the lawyers that were defending whoever it was that she was uh prosecuting, they were the ones that filed that thing saying it was she's going to prejudice, and basically that caused them to like make a decision to fire her. Because I remember,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She
and I
did
think,
prejudice the jury.
yeah, man, lawyering sucks. She did the right
So
thing,
she
but
prejudiced
still
the jury
gets.
against her case, and that means the case has to start with a different lawyer for the prosecutor's side. So she gets tossed out the law firm. That's still a
Which is,
little bit,
no, I think getting taken off the case, okay.
yeah,
Getting fired because not only because she prejudiced the jury, but they're like, oh, we can't use you anymore because you're too high profile and people will be like biased if you're defending someone or some shit. And I was just like, what? And then they're like, yeah, we can't keep you. It was the DA's
yeah.
office she worked for, was it not the DA's office, district attorney?
It seemed to be the case,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the way prosecution works in America can be quite different to here. Over here, when you're a barrister, a criminal barrister, you can do prosecution and defense. In America, if you work for you can be on the CPS. The CPS is basically assign you a case, and you'll be a prosecuting barrister. Other cases, you'll be a defense. You'll take a client and defend the case. You can do either side. You will have a preference. You will do more of one kind, depending on how you specialize. But anyway, that's the UK. America, I think it's a little more specialized than that.
Mm.
But we've seen that she was prosecuting in that instance, and now she's been hired by another law firm.
Well, before you jump to when she gets hired, she goes through. We need to talk about that period of time where she is jobless and she's trying to find a job, and she's finding that she goes to a bunch of interviews and nobody wants to hire her because
Yeah,
the
because she's too
same
high profile.
BS reason. I don't know. I mean, I get it, but I also don't think I just feel like every lawyer firm wouldn't be like, wait, we could get She-Hulk. Like, even if we don't have to get her doing the most difficult cases. We could just get her to do cases, and having her working for our firm
So
already.
this was the part. This was the part where I was watching it, and I thought to myself, "Oh, she should contact Daredevil. He has a law firm and only one other lawyer."
But wait, Daredevil, people don't know he's Daredevil.
No, but he
Yeah.
is. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I feel
I
like
know. Oh, he's
that's.
got a secret ID as well.
Yeah, but I feel like maybe calling him and asking for advice, but I don't think working with him because it would make him look sus, right? Wait, what's going on here? And it's yeah, but like yeah, I didn't like that. I thought that's a bit BS. Also, she was working for the DA. She was a pretty. You have to be pretty
She
good.
was pretty respected. Yeah, she
Yeah,
was
you have
good.
to be pretty good.
The idea is she's good at what she does,
Yeah.
obviously, because
Oh,
she's the protagonist.
one thing I haven't mentioned. This is in episode 1. We get introduced to her work colleague, who you can see here. It's the guy sitting to the right.
Oh, I didn't realize he was actually in that episode.
He was, and he is just. It's just so stupid. He's portrayed
He's
as
an
a
idiot.
super misogynistic prick, right? And you're just like, what is this, the 1950s? Literally, there is a scene in the episode for 1, right, where They're at the bar. This is the everyone's cheering because of She-Hulk or something, and he's just like, oh, what the hell. He has a chat with her, is obnoxious once again, and he's like, I'm just going to talk to that number 10 over there. He literally refers to the woman as a number 10, not even as a
Oh
woman.
wow, they actually did that,
He's
didn't they?
such a
Yeah.
complete fucking. I'm like, this is bullshit, right? Come on, guys. I mean, it's such a tired BS stereotype. So yeah, they can't. We see a bit more of that in episode 3, but in the beginning as well, he's just like, I get it's good to have an antagonist, someone who's like, beating you down at work, and she shows that she's mature because she doesn't bite when he says stupid shit. Because he says in the beginning, "Oh, I should do it because you'll mess it up." But the insinuation is he doesn't say it, but the insinuation is you can't do it well because you're not a guy. Because he is super misogynistic. So that did annoy me, and he features in episode 3 a bit more as well.
Honestly, he was such a nothing character in the first episode. I didn't even know who he
I
was.
don't
Even in episode 3, I
all
didn't
I
realize that he was in the show before.
all I know. Oh wow! All I know is because he features in the beginning, and it's that bit where he goes, "I'm going to talk to that number 10 over there," and then he says something else. I'm pretty sure, which is like, "You're just like nobody. What the fuck? You are complete."
Honestly, I don't know why that bothers you
I
so
don't know
much.
his
To
name.
me,
I don't know his name because I don't like, as you say.
that's what I mean. He's a nothing
he, he
character. The
he
only reason I'm even thinking about him is because his role in episode 3 is fucking hilarious.
he's basically a prick.
He's the guy to shit on. He's the butt monkey.
Butt monkey,
Yeah.
yeah, the term. What was it you used that for? Oh, Gil and Valhalla.
Yeah, I use that. I use the term butt monkey for a lot of
I
things.
like
Like
that. I like that.
Yamcha, he's the butt monkey. Gil in Valhalla, he's the butt monkey. And this guy,
This
even in the
guy,
photograph that you've got on screen right now, he's blurry and in the background. He's a butt
and
monkey.
he's just like, yeah. So there
So
was
he's
that.
super up himself. Super up himself. We see him in episode 3. I didn't even remember he was in episode 1.
Wow.
Um, honestly and truly, I didn't remember he was in episode 1. What were we talking about?
So we were on episode 2, and I wanted to focus on the bit where she couldn't get a job, right?
Oh, right. Yes. Actually, this was the point where she was searching websites for job offers and that sort of stuff, doing applications.
Yep.
And it was at that time that two things came on the screen as news articles. The first thing was a reference to the Eternals, that there is a giant just sticking out of the ocean, apparently. And
Oh.
yeah, that happened in the Eternals. No one's dealt with that yet. Or I suppose no one knows not what to do with it. It's just a dude's face and hands sticking out the ocean. And there was also a reference to Wolverine. An angry man with claws for hands starts a fight in a bar. And I'm like, starting a fight in a bar is everything Wolverine does when he's not just part of the X-Men.
Yeah, he's so cool.
Yeah, so
I
that was
didn't
at
pick
that
up on
point.
him. I didn't pick up on them at all. I missed
There,
them.
those proper blink and you miss it moments. Literally the things that only people on Twitter will point out, and then you look at that and you're like, oh,
Oh.
nice.
So the point, the bit I want to focus on a little bit is when she goes to see her family for the family dinner.
That was a good scene. I enjoyed that.
So there was a couple of things. I think it was good. I thought there was some bits where I was just like, right. But overall,
Okay, what was it?
so, and it's
What was
just
the
like,
issue?
do you know, right? So, and I can understand this a little bit, but they were praising. So now she's fired, granted, but she had a job in the DA's office as a lawyer, right? Prosecutor. That's shit hot, right? I don't care what area in the world you are in. That's a shit hot job. She goes to this, right? And her cousin, right, he's sitting there. So it's her parents, her cousin, his parents, who, and I think her cousin's parents don't like her, right? Obviously. And so they're just like,
What?
dude,
Where did you get that from?
right, here we go, right? Well, at least her uncle, right? Because the cousin goes, I've been promoted to manager at Best Buy. And he's got, look at that. He got promoted and has a job. And I'm just like, what a prick, right?
What?
Yeah, watch it again. There is that little silent.
No, I
dig
saw
there.
that scene and I remember that. I didn't see that as a dig. I saw that as them talking about his job.
No, they were basically saying that there was the bit where it's like, and has a job. Look at that, and I'm like, what a fucking prick. Because
All right,
they've all. So they start by saying, the father's like, look, I didn't want you to feel awkward, so I've told everyone that you did you lost your job.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember
She's
that
just
part.
like, what the fuck? Which I thought was hilarious. It's a very parent thing.
It
Stupid. Yeah,
is,
it's a
yeah.
very parent thing. It was good. I liked it. And like it felt real. It's like she's sitting there, she's like, oh God, I can't be
Well, that's
arguing
what
with
I
the family.
liked. It felt real. The
I
whole
liked
family
that.
scene felt real.
Yeah, I liked that. I just thought that was a bit like you're bigging up this dude when she was a fucking lawyer. She's a lawyer. Get the GTFO, right? Um, I did like that. I felt an affinity with that because I know the feeling of going to see family and not enjoying, especially when you've lost a job. Oh man, this was maybe too close to heart for me. But so yeah, that
That
was
might be
my.
why you were sensitive to this
No,
then,
no, no,
yeah.
no, no, no. There was no that didn't happen to me. But like, I just felt that was a bit.
No, I know that hasn't happened to you, but what I'm saying is that the way it's stuck in the show and the
Oh,
way it's
it was
stuck in your
just that
head.
silent dig. Yeah, it was very slight, but
I didn't see the dig part. I would say
it's
I would watch it again, but I don't really
it
care
stuck in my.
enough.
It was just like because they're just like, oh, he's got a job as a manager, and I was just like, manager. I mean, okay.
I
I
don't know.
was
I just saw it as them saying, "Hey, man, this guy's got a job as a
which
manager
which
right now,"
which
and
is
they're like,
good,
"Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah,"
but
and you
then there
know,
was the. It's like, oh, well done, but you suck, and it was that, but that bit there at the
I
end,
didn't
which I
get the
picked up.
part. I didn't get the sticking of the knife that you're talking about. I
Oh,
didn't
just
see that at
watch it
all.
again.
I don't want to watch it
Oh
again.
well,
I
if
mean,
you
I like this show, but I don't like it enough to
so
watch it again and
anyway,
again.
that was there, and I was just like, what is wrong with these people? I did like
Anyway,
what I did like. The dad. Nah, it could have been done better. I don't know. I quite liked it. When he takes her to the side and he has a chat with her, and he goes, "Look, kiddo,
yeah,
what's up?" And I was like, "Man, this is cool, right?"
yeah.
It felt good that he was like he could see the mother was just like oblivious, right? But the
His
father was the one.
dad's gonna dad.
Dad's gonna dad, yeah. It's like you have that one parent in a dynamic. Not all the time, but there is a lot of times where it's the one parent's more clued on to things, and I feel that a lot of kids they'll have a favorite or a preference, like maybe I'm closer to my dad or I'm closer to my mum or whatever. And I felt like she was maybe a bit closer to the dad in this kind of family,
Mm.
and so he was just sitting there, he was asking how it was, and he did say to her, look, you get past this. We've already. I did like how he was like, we've already had a Hulk in the family, and he destroyed the city. You're not
Yeah,
doing
it's
too
like
bad.
here we go again.
But also, he destroyed
Yeah,
the city. You're not doing too bad. I quite like that. Um, and I thought that was good. That was something. I think it was important to have. It shows that her family are there for her, but it's also like she's gone back to the family and had to like because they also know about the Hulk thing as well at the same time as her losing her
everyone
job.
knows about the
So
Hulk
it's like
thing. Everyone's about
it's
yeah.
two things she's going for the first time to talk to them about, right? And she's like, I don't want to do this. This is kind of like a pain. I like that. You don't usually get that. No, I mean maybe it was in. I'm trying to think of other superheroes. You don't usually see them going back to mum and dad to talk about it in that way. So I thought that was important. I thought that was cool that they had that, and I did like at the end of that episode they're getting her to like lift for 6 bottles of water, 6 giant tubs of water or something for their water machine.
Wasn't that the post credits? I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
quite like that. It's just like they're like, well, you know how you can
I need a
you,
hand around
you know
here.
do you know how you can
Yeah.
She-Hulk now? Can you give me a hand? And I was like,
I'm like, yep,
that's
that's
so
definitely a
that's
fucking
so
parent thing right there.
so
Not
I
just a parent thing. I'm usually the muscle around here helping my brother out.
it's like, do you know
So
how
yeah.
you go? You got a bit of muscle now. You could help. Can you move that whole that whole fucking wardrobe?
Can you
Um,
help me renovate the kitchen? Can you
ah,
help me redo this? Can you
I
help me lift that? Yeah, yeah.
I like that.
Let's do an extension.
I
I mean, this
really like
place
that.
needs a new room. Let's just build a new room. You know.
So that's one thing I really enjoyed. So
Yeah.
that happened before she then gets offered the job.
Right.
Um,
So she goes to a bar with like no money, and she tells the guy, "I've got no money." And then the guy shows up, and he's like, "Hey, kid, you want a job? I got a new superhero division." And she's like, "Yes." No,
so
no, no discussion of pay. No discussion of terms of employment. No contract to look at. She's just like, "I'm on the job. Yep, I'm taking it. Yep." And then she
which
goes back to the guy, the bar guy, and said, the bartender, and says, "I'm back."
which was kind of cheesy, but and then
Yeah.
some people are just like, oh, what she went back so quickly. And the thing I was like, when that guy came to offer her the job, he came and it was like slimy not like evil boss type person. I was just like, this guy doesn't look good. She
Oh
knows,
well,
and she knows he doesn't look good because she
no,
was
no, I
fighting a
am,
case
I
against him.
am, I am keeping my. No, she may be fighting a case against him, but what does that make him?
That
The
doesn't make
CEO
him
of a
bad,
defense law firm,
but
yeah,
it doesn't make him bad. But when he came in and the attitude, the kind
yeah,
of
CEO of a big firm, yes,
yeah,
obviously.
no, but like nah, they're not all like you could. He made it, even though he was not in the office being the CEO. He made you know that he's CEO. You know what I mean? I don't know. He could.
Obviously, that's why I said he's the fucking CEO of a big firm, you know. Anyway, what I'm saying is that she didn't do any sort of checks. She was just that desperate. She wanted a job and she took the job offer
I
without
mean,
knowing what it was.
and when
Apart
I
from the fact that he said, was it at that point? Was it when it was in the building where he said,
it
this is
was
for the
only in the
superhero
building,
division?
which was I think in episode. No, it was after that,
Two,
wasn't
two,
it?
two.
Episode
Yeah.
two. So like, she's just like, all right. And when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, yeah. Some people, I was watching some people talking about it. It's like, oh, I just took the job. It's like, mate, if you've been fired and you've done law, and she said that she's got like 100K plus fucking loan to pay off, right? Which,
Obviously, yeah.
which I know she's been lawyering for. I think she's been lawyering for a while, but you'll have that loan forever, man.
Mm.
It'll take a long time to pay it off. Funnily enough, her colleague seems to be fucking rolling in money for some reason, which we find out in episode three. But
The
anyway, the dumbass butt
her
monkey.
friend,
No, 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 no. The butt monkey.
the guy.
Yeah, episode three.
I'd barely call him a colleague.
It's a work colleague.
Yeah.
Colleague doesn't need to be
He
friends.
wasn't in episode two. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
No,
wasn't
I'm
in
just
episode two. That's
remembering.
why I wasn't thinking of
I'm
him
just
as a
thinking
colleague at that
that
point.
person seems to be around the same level as her, but he. Anyway, we'll cover that in episode three. But he seems to be rolling in money for some reason.
That guy is the stereotype of a lawyer. Whereas I find that this girl, Jennifer, whatever her name is,
Yeah.
She-Hulk, she is a little more down to earth in terms of what's going on. You got the over large loan, worries about your cases and stuff like that, obviously, but you know, she
But she's
seems a bit
also
more
she's
she's
also
a bit more relatable than the
I mean,
stereotype.
that's the point, isn't it?
That is the point. She's the hero. He's
And
not.
they do a pretty good job of it. I mean, I think she's kind of cool. I don't have an issue with her character. I think I can relate to her. I'm not a lawyer, but I can
That
relate to a
arrogance,
lot
I
of
think,
the.
is actually part of the character as well, because obviously to be in law, you need to have some slight arrogance about you.
Yeah, and I'm wondering how they go with this because you could understand that she is going against at least from her work colleague in the workplace she was in at the beginning. He's a prick, so you have
Oh, that guy
to
was a proper dickhead,
you
yeah.
have to at least build a level of I
Thick
don't
skin.
know, thick skin and being able to like portray a level of pride or arrogance to try and maybe deal with that. It's not healthy. It's not
You
great,
also
but
have to let things not bother you.
yeah. And she didn't let it bother her when he said something really snidey at the very beginning, which shows that she has got that.
Let me
But
tell you something, right? This is from my own experience. Let me tell you something. It started way back in uni and it has persisted throughout, right? I remember, and I will always remember this lesson, right? I was studying equity and trusts, and the professor, teacher, whatever you want to call him, asked a question. I don't remember what the question was. That wasn't the important part. I was a good boy, so I put my hand up. Sir, why don't you just ask the client for more information? And then he says to me, Kuxel, you've made a very basic error. You assume that your client is trying to help you, right?
right.
And honest to God, that lesson has stuck with me throughout everything because there have been many times when the clients just fuck themselves over, right?
Getting an
It's
inside look into law here.
let me just tell you, it is actually amazing. My favorite example, I think, was when I've told you about the building case.
Yep.
But basically, what we wanted to do was get some evidence to show that the works that were taking place on the site were not illegal, and part of that required us to get photographs, right? Now, the opposing side, the health and safety executive, had provided a lot of photographs of the area, which they had taken, or alleged photographs of the area, saying that this is an infraction of this is an infraction of that, so on and so forth. And we're like, all right, client, can you help us? We need to take some photographs of the area. We'd also like to use a drone to take aerial photographs and such and such. Will you allow us to come visit your site? It says no. And my immediate thought was, well, he's fucked.
I'm sorry, just you just get the fucking. Do you know what? I feel that if you're doing my job, right? Like the stories you always have, right? If you're doing my job, you would end up like working, like you'd have stories where you've been a contractor making like programs for like massive scam artists or something like that, or like you just have these crazy. You're like, yeah, this guy that side dodge, but like I did the
I'm
website,
starting
I
my
did the
own
go.
crypto coin
No,
or something
it's like
like
so,
that.
yeah, it's a guy's like making crypto. He's like, I keep getting these jobs, but and then you tell us the fucking horror stories, and like you always have like, let's be honest, right? For the people out there, the layman out there like me, I do feel that most lawyers don't have as exciting as career as that many stories, as many exciting stories as Kuxel might have. I feel.
Like I said, because of the unique way of the way we do things over here, right? We tend to pick up the clients who are fucking at the fucking bottom end of the shit. And because of that, we end up with more interesting stories.
And you know
Doesn't
what?
pay well, but
Uh,
we get interesting stories at the
hey,
very
and you
least.
know what? I mean, as long as you're enjoying it, as long as it's not. I mean, obviously, sometimes it's going to cause
I
you a lot of
have
pain.
always enjoyed it. It's been, it, it's honestly great fun.
I do hope that I end up having stories like that where I'm like, oh man, I was working for this company. We created a botnet or something. Don't know how the hell I got roped into this.
We
Um,
accidentally created a virus that wiped out
I've,
everything in the UK or something. I don't know.
well, I do have a story where I've told you this, where I accidentally deleted everything on a database, and that meant that the orders that this company was processing at the time, the guys are looking on screen to check what orders to kind of package away for delivery, and they all disappeared off the face of the screen as they were looking at it, and they just went, "What the fuck?" And then they gave me the call, and when they gave me the call, I instantly went, "Fuck!" Right, and I shat it, and I was like the head dude at that point. And there's a lot of things around. We'd introduced a new system, and this was part of that system, and it was working fine. And I basically had sabotaged it, and I went down there, and I had to talk to the guy on the floor, the lead guy, the warehouse manager. And these are like tough. These are not like office dudes, right? These are like real people, right? Salt of the earth people. And I had to tell. I was like, mate,
There you go,
I
mates.
fucked
Ashmanic
up.
says that office dudes are not real people.
Fuck. Don't say that. I
You
work in
said
an
it
office.
yourself,
I work
man.
in look. Shut, shut. Like you know what I mean. These guys, right? Like you don't want to get on their wrong side, right? If you're on their good side, they're amazing with you and they'll fight for your case. But if you're on the wrong side, be afraid because they'll do your head in. Um, so I had to go down. I was like, mate, I've fucked up. I could have ran away from it, but the thing was, it was near closing time, and they had to get a whole bunch of things. Oh, they had to manually do stuff and process it, and they were half an hour late. And it was bad. It was bad. And I was sitting there going, why am I in this? Why am I here? Why am I in this field? I want to just like make websites that look nice or something. So yeah, that was the one time where that quote's like, and it's at that point he knew.
He knew he fucked up.
I was like saying that, man, no, and the buck stopped with me, kind of thing. So yeah, I that's the only cool story I have for work. But having said that, and having meandered for a bit, but also that the stuff that you said, Kuxo, about the lawyer stuff, and your kind of experience is fucking hilarious and great to know. And actually, this
Mm.
this is also, it's an interesting perspective talking to you about this, working in this field. Granted, in the UK compared to the US, but like definitely, it's a lot more interesting seeing your insight. I think if we go to the end of so if we carry on episode 2 where she gets the job, she starts the job with the big massive company who wants to start a superhero division. So she walks into the job as Jennifer Walters. Her
Well, actually, we haven't finished episode 2 yet. So
No,
she
no,
walks in.
that's not, that is episode 2. It's the end of episode 2 where she walks into
It's not
the.
the end. It's not the end. It's still mid episode 2. She walks in to the office as herself, not as the
Yes.
She Hulk. And CEO dude is there and says, we want the She Hulk to represent the firm because we are doing a new division based on superhero law. Now, the first thing that came to my mind is who has written this superhero law and what does it
Um,
say? The only thing that I can think of is the Sokovia Accords, which is all superheroes need to register themselves, otherwise they're not allowed to superhero.
yeah, so
and on
they
and on
wanted
that
to.
basis, is She-Hulk registered? Because if
No,
she's not
she's not
registered, she
registered.
should not be allowed to.
She's not superheroing though.
She did do some superhero acts.
That was
She took out that woman in that courtroom. Who did the damage?
the women in the courtroom. The
Yeah,
Titania.
Titania. She came
Titania, sorry,
in.
or yeah,
Titania
Titania.
is how they said it. So she came in. I think she broke the
She
wall.
broke the wall. She threw things. There was like some sort of earthquakey stuff going on, which I believe was her.
How did Jennifer? Sorry, how did She-Hulk beat her? She transformed into
So
She-Hulk, and
she
then what did she do?
grabbed. She stopped her. She chucked a desk or something or a massive wooden thing towards the jury. She-Hulk came, stopped it, put it, chucked it at her or something, and then Titania did a flying kick. So this was quite quick. Not much happened, right? Flying kick,
Yeah.
and then She-Hulk gave her a massive punch, and she flew backwards, hit the wall, and went unconscious.
Right. Okay. So
She was not superheroing. She was just defending the jury of her court while she was there. So you could
Yeah.
argue that she did not go with the intent to superhero. It was she was caught off guard. So I mean, I don't know why we're going into so much detail, but I feel like
Especially because we don't even know what the terms
yeah.
of the Sokovia Accord
Um,
are anyway.
but having so yeah, going back to the job, the guy said that she was going to head this team, but as you said,
As the
as
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, right? And she's like, what? And even I was like, oh man, I felt bad for her. I was like, oh, do you know it's that thing where you like you get this job and you think it's all good, and they go, actually, you're here to do this, and you're like, oh no, I shouldn't have taken this.
Here's the thing I don't understand. She looks different as the She-Hulk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, she should just do it as the She-Hulk, stay in that form, and then go home as herself, and then she can maintain some kind of anonymity. Then
So yeah, I mean, her alter ego, if it's not on like on full blast everywhere, it's just the
but then I
She-Hulk they're gonna
suppose
forget.
people could just do a search of the registered practitioners of that firm and see her real name there.
Or she might be just registered as well, yeah, I suppose. But like, I did feel like, oh, at that point, I was like, oh man, oh what? He's like, yeah, we don't
Anyway,
want. I think he almost worded like, we don't want you, we want She-Hulk.
he did word it
Yeah,
like
and
that.
I'm like, oh.
He said, in fact, I think he did actually go so far as to say, if you're not going to She-Hulk here, you can
You're at,
find work
yeah,
elsewhere.
yeah. He's like, you're fired, basically.
Yeah.
So I think she did the thing that everyone would have done. I went, okay,
Fuck it.
I'll be the She-Hulk
Fuck it. Let me
because,
just go change into these larger shirts and trousers or something, and then
and then she
yeah.
comes, she has to take the shoes off again, I believe, because she doesn't have shoes for the She-Hulk.
I
And
don't
I
think they make shoes that big.
and a lot of people may have enjoyed that.
It's
So
not the focal point.
it's
But
hey,
anyway,
no, of course not, but it's there, and it's I'm not complaining. But then she walks
I
through
can
the
I can I can hear crack dealer typing comments right now, laughing at you.
hey, you're the one that should be. Well, look who's talking. Anyway,
Well, I haven't said anything.
but anyway, she walks through the farm, and there is another thing where it's like, and she makes a comment where there's a bunch of there's a board meeting going on. It's a bunch of older high up execs.
Oh
They're all they're
yes.
all white, all old white dudes, and I'm like, this doesn't seem realistic. I know, you know,
Oh. But in this field, it is. I will say that.
but she does make a comment going, I bet they didn't have to go through this
I
when
bet
they
you haven't
started the
been.
farm, and I'm like, yeah, I bet most
Trust.
people haven't been a superhero. Like, it was, I get.
Look, man, we have this. We have the phrase. We say that they are male, pale, and stale, and that is the thing. Like, right?
Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking remember that one.
We
Mm.
have had this comment. We say this as well because there are quite a few of, shall we say, the established in these law firms, especially in central London. If you go to, I mean, they are trying to make a push for, let's say, a more diversified set. So, but if you go to the very top, you'll always see that kind there, and
But also, it will take time, isn't it? For
it will.
there's a lot of
It's
people in the lower, like your average lawyer type people, and I feel it's more diverse there. And as they
definitely,
age,
especially amongst the younger cohorts.
yeah, which is really good. Like one thing when I did engineering back in the day, there was in the three disciplines that kind of worked together almost. It's like um there was like a woman, a girl in each course, right? So in my specific course, right, there was one girl, I think, amongst all guys. By the time my brother started, and it was only like a few years after, that had changed to like, I don't know, far more than one. It's like 5 or 10, and maybe amongst the course. And as time has gone by, more and more, it's became more balanced, more and which I was like, wow, man. I always like being in amongst a diverse group of people. I don't like it when I like that, and I do feel that that is in terms of STEM and even law and stuff like that. You are getting that, it is filtering through. Um, but at the same time, if you go to the highest levels of a lot of companies, it's not you're not going to see that. But that's I feel part of that is to do with time and experience, and you will get people up there. But I don't know. Well, I'm not here to comment on the state of the world, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was brought up in the show, and in the context of the show, it's the idea that she says that there's still a lot of work to be done. You're not going to be able to get to that level, is what she's trying to say. And I will say that there is some level of that in real life. I mean, the legal field is one which is very slow to change, very slow, slower than the rest. Um,
I know
as a matter
that.
of fact, the one of the first times I went into the courtroom, I had a great laugh because I just saw this old judge, very old judge, looking angrily at a laptop and pecking at it, and I nearly cracked up then and there
He's like,
because
how'd you bring up the document?
yeah, basically because it used to be that you just go in with, in fact you still do, but you go in with massive stacks of paper, just fucking reams of it, and the bundles can get massive. But now we have PDFs and we upload everything digitally, and everyone just checks it on their computer. So you have the judge with a laptop, and you have the barristers with the laptops. They're back with our laptops and all that. People sitting back. Everyone's got their computers, even though the signs say no recording gear, no anything. But
I mean,
ev-
I feel
yeah,
like you're talking about the early 2000s. It worries me that this is.
no, I am not talking about the early two
I know
thousands.
this is what
I
kind
am
of worries
talking
me.
about. I am talking about as 2017, 2018 ish.
Wow, wow.
And they're only just getting to. I mean, we have only just started getting things like CJSM up, where it's an online platform to upload documents by way of online portal. Otherwise, beforehand, and we would just send it by email or post it,
I mean, emails.
and or email and post.
All right, I suppose that's not that bad. Like if
Yeah,
you're,
but there have been quite a few times where I literally where I would just go to central London and physically give the documents by hand.
yeah, it's not a luxury that a lot of people have.
Yeah, there's also DX, and we didn't have that facility. DX is document exchange. It's a kind of postal service that's only for firms, but yeah,
Ooh, a
but
secret
it's
delivery service just for law
it's
firms.
not even. It's called DX, document exchange. It's not even secret. It's just shit. Uh,
Sounds fancy. I don't know.
and if you go to Central, right? If you go to the legal district, there's plenty. There's like a the what those copier shops called? They're like they just
Oh,
photocopy documents.
reprographics shops.
No, no, no. Is that what they called?
Oh, reprographics is what we call that department in uni. I think it might
Right.
be something. It's like that. They'll
I
print
just
stuff
call
out for
them.
you.
Yeah, I just call them copier shops because what they do is they copy documents for you.
They also maybe do other stuff, but yes,
They
yeah.
are so fucking expensive. They will do some other stuff like print stuff. No, 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 no. I'm not talking about like copycats and that. These guys will solely print and copy documents. They're not going to do posters. They're not going to do graphics or anything like that. They are just specialized in copying and printing legal documents.
Oh, mate, there must like be only a handful of them in the country.
I said they're in this legal district. You
Ah,
go and you see like those really old buildings that are still falling apart.
yeah,
Um,
this sounds
um,
cool. I don't know
where it
why.
looks like where you walk down the street and it looks like fucking Harry Potter
Yeah,
because it's
Greg.
all
Yeah, I was
cobbled
gonna say
streets.
it's like feeling. You know, Edinburgh's like that. Fucking cobblestone streets. I had to drive up them, man. Sometimes, fuck. But yeah, like I think when I think Harry Potter, I think ancient part of London and Edinburgh
Yeah,
city
yeah,
centre.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
it's near. If you get near Chancery Lane Station and just walk about, you'll be around there. Basically, very old streets and very old buildings and very very old firms.
and
Why are we still
there's
talking about this? We
I
should be
don't know.
talking
It's
about
fun,
the She-Hulk.
but it's. I mean, I was like getting a bit of an insight into
Yeah,
the field of law. I'm sure
it's
our
ancient.
viewers will.
That's what it is, and the
It's
people in there really pride themselves. In fact,
it's
I remember one more story. I remember in my jurisprudence class, right? I had a girl with me who I would study with, and we were being taught about legal ethics,
yep.
and the teacher taught us about what's called professionalism. And there was a quote by some, I don't know, scholar from some ancient time. I don't even remember this class at all anymore. But the quote was something along the lines of like, "What is a profession? A profession is something you are skilled in. Take this guy who makes pins. He makes pins, and that's it. But take the legal." The lawyer, that sort of thing. What is his profession? He applies himself and looks after his clients in a fatherly way and such and such. So then the teacher, said, "So what do you think this person thinks of professionalism?" And the girl to my left just put her hand up and she said, "Snobbish. It's just snobbery, pure snobbery. That's all it is." And it's true. It really is. That is the profession to a T. Just a bunch of posh people being posh for the sake of it.
It's also extremely fucking expensive
Very. It's
for the
I
plan.
like to try and keep myself grounded into my working class roots. I don't want to elevate myself, as they say, elevate to the point of being a stuck up dickhead.
But you can make so much money.
If you want to be a cog in the machine.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah. So that's the joke. Some of the guys on the
It's
live
not even
stream
a,
are like,
it's not even a joke. Like I could tell you about my mates who went into like city law firms.
no, I'm saying that the joke that some of the guys in the live streams have and that I do is that you're driving around, you're lawyering about town in a Rolls Royce, fucking
Oh, right, yeah.
living the life, and I'm like, I'm just a coder, man. I mean, you could get paid a lot as a
You
programmer,
could get
definitely.
paid a I
I'm
would
an
say
idiot.
programming is the way to fucking go, man.
I'm a complete. I feel like I've had all the opportunities and to go into fields where you can make money. I'm just pathetic.
All right, so like not one of the clients, her husband, so the other party, the other side,
Mhm.
right? Uh his job is he's a programmer who works for Vodafone. Fucking Vodafone. Right.
Yeah, we won't go into that.
Yeah, but he gets like a fucking six-figure salary doing that job. I'm like, dang.
Man, what am I doing wrong? Yeah, I need
There's a lot of
to.
money. There's a lot of
There is
money
a
to be
lot.
had in
Yeah,
coding.
it's a good. It's like anything though. If you're good at
Mm.
it and you get you're a bit of luck and you get the right opportunities.
We're rambling
A
too
lot of
much
luck,
now.
but
Yeah,
yes.
definitely, absolutely.
Let's
Skill, luck.
zoom back to so she's walking through like She-Hulk walks through this farm. She's gone past the board, right? And we've talked about that. And then she gets to her office, which is a lovely corner office with amazing furniture and a brilliant view. And I'm like, you've made it. I mean, this farm's a bit sketchy, but damn, right? And she had a condition that if she gets hired, her
She gets her
paralegal
own
her
paralegal. So
paralegal
basically,
comes
yeah,
with her, which was a
yeah, yeah.
fucking what awesome. And they're like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. Um, so yeah, I think that was that the end of that.
No, that wasn't. That was close to the end. But that was basically the point when she gets her new office. She goes in, settles in. Her paralegal friend. It's her friend, really, but she's just hired her. They roll together in there, and they're like, "Sweet, we made it." Then a guy comes and goes, "Biscuits," and they're like, "Yeah," or
I want
something.
fucking, and it was not cheap shitty biscuits that you'd get that I used to get. No, it was like proper ones with chocolate and stuff.
No Red Bull apparently though. That guy was having a fucking fit that they didn't have Red Bull for some reason.
Which guy? Because
Episode 3 is what I've jumped to episode 3. That dickhead guy, from colleague dude.
was he? Interesting.
Yeah, for some reason he was throwing a fit that they didn't have Red Bull. To be fair, I can understand if I don't have Lucozade. I'm like, oh man,
Just buy some, mate. I mean, if you're getting
I
paid
do,
enough,
I
if you're
do.
getting, this is the thing, right? I'm like, that sucks. I don't get biscuits. So what I used to do is buy myself biscuits, right? Because I'm getting paid, all right, whatever. But yeah,
Mate, some of the clients, all right, we would go to the fucking barrister chambers in London, and they give you the biscuit trays with tea and all that, and they would
mhm.
just fucking pocket it and take it off.
It's like, are you not getting paid
Not
anything?
me. I'm talking about the
I
clients,
know, but
bro.
oh man,
It
oh,
cracked me up.
that's bad. That's bad. Fuck, I feel sorry. Fucking hell, damn
What?
man. No, I feel sorry for them if they're fucking nabbing biscuits.
Mate, they're fucking rich, these dudes. They're not. These clients were different. They're not the typical. I can't talk about these guys, though, in
Okay, is it
detail.
just? It's just they're just like,
They were a
I got lots of
firm.
money,
They
but I
were a
want
group. No, these were a group of people. They were not. They're not like my usual
individual kind of
divorce,
clients.
poor divorce clients or criminal or immigration or anything like that. No, these were a property case, a big property case. But I
Oh,
can't talk in depth about it.
either way, they were
That matter
rich.
is still
They were
ongoing.
well to do. You're saying,
They're
and
well to do. They don't pay
they're
us enough, to be
they're like, oh,
honest.
I like these biscuits. I'm
Yeah,
like,
but they fucking they just go there and they pocket the biscuits.
it's
I'm
like
like,
fucking
motherfucker.
Scrooge. It's like I'll have
Mate,
all the
these
money.
guys, Scrooge is a good description. We had fucking problems with them.
They wouldn't pay
Uh,
you.
yeah, no
Oh,
joke. Like fucking, we'd bill them, and they would like fucking pussyfoot about the payments. To the
oh,
point where my superiors got pissed off and start arguing with them, saying, "Look, we've assembled a team. We're doing work for you." There were arguments, very angry arguments. Uh,
understandably.
yeah, fucking piss take, honestly.
Oh
But
man.
yeah, carrying on, carrying on.
So yeah, they get the office. The guy comes with biscuits, and I'm sitting there going, "That's a really nice off." I just spent. I was like, "That's a really nice office," um,
Hmm.
and I think that's where it ends.
No,
Uh,
it ends. I know where it ends because this part I was like, "Yep, this is accurate." So she goes to a CEO dude who calls her into a meeting, and he
oh,
says,
okay.
to her, "Right, you got a case. Your client is the abomination."
And I was just like,
He didn't literally say that. He says your client is such and such, and she goes, "Oh, he's the abomination." The abomination being the villain from, well, the end battle from the Incredible Hulk. The villain was the army, basically.
which I totally forgot that movie. It's been so long since I watched it. But
Like I
that
said, that movie has been considered non-canon for a long time.
and yeah, and she's just like any other case but that, and he was just like,
Yes,
no,
and she did have a good point. She said that, look, there's a conflict of interest here. This client tried to kill my cousin.
yeah. I was like, yeah, and I was like, yep, that's pretty justifiable reason not to take the
Yeah,
case. I'm pretty sure that would be brought up if she took the case. They're like, is there not some sort of weird conflict of interest here? And he
there
was,
is.
and I think he
And
was
then
just like,
the part that really got me was he goes, "There's no problem here because he has signed this waiver," and I was like, that doesn't resolve anything.
he. Apart, oh, she goes to visit him at the prison, doesn't she? At the end of the episode.
At the insistence of her CEO, because he's
Yes.
always dangling that sword above her, saying that, "Hey, you don't do what I say,
Get
you
out.
ain't got no job."
And I'm assuming he's paying her top dollar as well.
It looks like it with that fucking office.
I
Yeah,
mean, look, that building is all fancy, but I do assume that with the office and all that
comes a good
perks
pay.
comes a good pay. Yeah.
I hope so, at the very least, for the sake of her student loan.
But it does
Um,
end with her chatting to. She chats to the guy.
the next episode. No,
No, she goes to see the
wait.
abomination at the end of
No, no,
episode.
no. She does go to see him, and they
Yeah.
talk for a bit, and then she talks with Bruce, who's in space for some reason.
Yeah. They're just like he's like I'm going to be busy at the end of the
Yeah.
call, but he was
Now,
basically fine with it.
but here's the thing: he was fine with it. Yeah, he said that guy, the abomination, sent him a haiku or something.
Yeah, he's been sending loads of people haikus apparently.
I like that, and meeting soulmates. Seven of them.
Yeah, which which I forgot about, and then
Which was fucking funny, man.
they come up in the next episode.
That is actually really funny. But anyway, Bruce, let's talk about Bruce for a bit. At the ending of Shang-Chi, it was shown that he is with Captain Marvel. And the only way we see them is by way of hologram. So I imagine this is sort of nudging him towards that.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie.
You have not seen Shang-Chi?
Nah, it came out at a
Okay.
time, and I was like, "Oh, do you know? I'll go see it." And then
Right, because
stopped.
the ending cliffhanger of this actually ties into Shang-Chi. What happens in Shang-Chi is we see Wong and Abomination having a fight at some tournament area. There's a tournament arc in that movie, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell it's a martial arts anime but made into a Marvel movie?
Damn. Episode 3 makes more sense now.
Yeah, so, they're like, what the fuck? And episode 3 basically provided context behind how that happened, which is that apparently Wong forced him to go out.
So, before we go into episode 3, because that kind of comes up in episode 3, the cliffhanger is she gets the call from the boss. He's like, "Are you going to take this case?"
Yeah, and she's like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking it. I will definitely get him out free. It's in the bag. And then he's like, "Right, you're probably going to have to look at the news. Bye."
That is exactly what I'm talking about when I say fucking clients fuck you up, right?
And she's like, "What's he thought?" I knew what was going to come.
And she turns on the TV and he's wrecking shit, and she's like, oh.
He's escaped and apparently been videoed, which was like super unlucky. Fighting blah blah blah. And
you should watch Shang-Chi, it's good.
And they say, we wonder, we're trying to get in contact with Jennifer Walters to see his lawyer, to see what she says about all this. And I'm like, oh, they even name dropped her. Oh. That was an interesting cliffhanger. I said, oh, he's a bastard. So now we can go to episode 3, because that's where we start to, we figure out what's going on here. Does she go straight away to talk to him in episode 3? I think she does.
Basically, he's back in jail, so she goes to talk to him, and he's like, yeah, I was forced into it. A magic dude forced me to go fight with him in a tournament to rig the fight in his favor.
Well, I don't know if he goes into too much detail. He just says, I've been forced to do it by that magic dude, and that's why I left. But I'm looking and he's like, every time you see Abomination, right, he's sitting there super chill, and I'm like, you look like you're really happy. You're really content.
Well, isn't that what he's selling to you? That he's actually controlled everything and he's in a state of peace now.
Yeah, and I like this guy. I don't know what he was like when he was an Abomination, but this guy.
Oh, in the movie.
Yeah, like I don't know what his character, the human character, was like in the movie.
He was like an SAS dude or something who was sent in to get the Hulk.
Yeah, and he talks about that in episode 2. He tells her, look, I was in SAS. I was really good at what I did. I thought I was fighting for my country, and I'm like, yeah. He does win her over with that, and to be fair, that all makes sense.
He does make some decent arguments. It's true he was some kind of experiment, but at the same time, he was a little bit overly zealous in that movie. He was definitely not as innocent as he pitted himself out to be. But his argument now is he's a different person from how he was back then.
And he does look it, and he does seem really chill, right? And whatever his actual motives are, right? The actor doing his acting, I really like him.
He's a good actor.
Yeah,
he's a good actor. If there's anything Marvel has done very well, it's getting the actors to do their jobs properly. There are very few instances I can think of where the actors haven't convinced me.
I like him. I like his character, the human character, right?
Having said that, I'm not convinced he's actually good.
Maybe not. Maybe he's hiding something.
It's the fucking parole hearing. Of course he's going to be on his best behavior.
But he's always on when he's talking to Jennifer Walters. He's talked to her a couple of times where it's just him and her. What I liked, right, is he's sitting there chill in this super maximum security jail, right?
In this like laser glass prison. Yeah.
And he's just sitting there. She comes to see him after finding out he escaped, and he's sitting there in the same position. And I'm thinking, how the fuck did this guy get out of here and come back in? Nothing's damaged, like, because like they don't. He explains it, but before he explains it, I'm like, He's not moved.
So you hadn't seen the movie Shang-Chi, but in
But
Shang-Chi we see him with Wong and we see them jumping through portals.
as I
So we already knew this.
as soon as I knew, as soon
Wong
as he
was
says
involved.
Wong was involved, I was like, yeah, he's used the portals because he portals everywhere. Like, this the Sorcerer Supreme. And I said, that explains it. But and I was like, oh, okay. So he didn't escape. He was forced to. And then Wong comes and like fights his case. But we also get the B story of the previous work colleague who, if I go back to the no, we won't go to that yet.
That was the B story though.
Yeah, it was part of it. Where is it? Yeah, this guy, this colleague.
Right, that guy, his
Right.
fucking story cracked me up so much.
I did
So,
enjoy
by
it.
the way, I completely forgotten that this guy was in episode 1. So, to me, he was just apparently some guy who was previously in her previous employment. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. And now he's in this firm.
He,
And he's straight away, he's like, I can't work with her. No.
yeah, he's a prick. I mean, look,
Yeah.
I don't agree with his characterization, but he is a dick, and I don't feel bad. When
I don't care about his characterization. He's apparently supposed to be an idiot. And I'm like, okay, fair enough.
He's like a really, I'm assuming a really good lawyer because he works for the DA, but he's actually complete.
No,
idiot.
he came into this firm to get a lawyer to represent him. And they get the dude who works at the firm. Not Jennifer, but instead another dude who works at the firm.
So, well, and at first they say we'll get Jennifer Walters to do it, and she's just like, oh, no,
Nope.
and
he's like,
no,
nope.
he first goes, nope, get this dude to do it. Literally, he said this guy,
Get this guy to do it,
and the guy
that
was just
does
standing there, and I was like, is he even a lawyer, or is he just the guy's assistant?
Well, apparently he's now. So there you go.
Well, apparently he is a lawyer. He's cool as well. Like his reaction when he and then he goes over the case, and apparently
So this guy has been defrauded of $175,000 by way of a false romantic relationship with a woman who was with a woman from New Asgard, who is apparently an elf who can shapeshift into other people, and she turned into that woman from Instagram apparently. Now I don't know who this person
right,
is.
Megan the Stallion. Okay, so I don't know if she is.
Is that her name in real life, or is that
is
just...
her? That is her stage name, right? Megan. I don't know.
But is that in real life?
Yeah, that is her handle. The Stallion.
Oh,
Megan,
okay. Well,
the
there's a
Stallion.
Wikipedia right there.
There you go.
Right. Okay. Let's see. Because I don't know this person.
Is Megan the Stallion? That's her professional name. Pronounced Megan the Stallion.
Megan the Stallion.
Okay. Is an American rapper and actress, originally from Houston, Texas. She first gained attention videos of freestyle. Oh, so Instagram. Okay.
Yeah. And that's all I've heard about her. She's in Instagram. So, okay, fair enough. She's a rap artist.
She's a rap artist, right? And
apparently she's known for twerking.
I mean, I'm assuming.
Is what I've heard.
But
anyway, this
they
guy
make
here...
her out to be a superstar though. Like they're like the Megan.
So here's the thing. I have no idea who she is.
I don't know if they did that on purpose because I feel like a lot of people are like, who's Megan Thee Stallion?
Okay, I hope that's the case because I don't know who she is. You don't know who she is.
I mean,
I'm willing to bet that if I ask my brother, who is usually more knowledgeable at things on Instagram, he may not know who she is. But I have seen some people in the run-up to this episode say, oh, Megan the Stallion's on it. And I'm like, I don't know who that is, but we'll see. Now, it comes across to me like, cross-promotion. They are sort of promoting her. She's on the show, blah, blah, blah.
There is an interesting... what were they talking about? No, that may be something.
No, they just thought that this guy, the client, who was previously co-worker, thought he was in a romantic relationship with her. And the joke which cracked me up, right, is that it's he paid for a whole bunch of stuff for her, including a Volkswagen Passat. And Jennifer goes to him, you thought you were dating Megan the Stallion, and you thought she drives a Volkswagen Passat.
No, I think, did the lawyer not say that?
Well, it was her. I'm pretty sure it was our girl Jen who says that. I cracked up so much at that. I'm like, okay, she's clearly some rich woman, and you bought her a car, but not an amazing car, just a decent car.
Oh,
yeah.
It was funny that like his lawyer at one point was like, right, okay,
the guy was cracking up as well.
How much money did you did you spend on
Oh,
her? And he's like, okay,
higher,
just give me an
higher.
indication, right? So you got her a mid-sized sedan or something, right?
So about 50
50K, and
grand,
he's like higher,
100.
100K. He's like
Uh-huh.
higher, and then he's
And he's
like
like,
two
200?
200. He's like, no, not
No.
200, 175 or
He goes,
something.
I would never spend 200 grand. It was 175.
And I'm like, oh my god! And the funny thing, the elf who was is the shapeshifter is fucking hilarious. She's
I
basically
had problems with her,
she's just
actually.
love. She's just fucking.
She was having a lot of fun,
She
and
just.
I could see a shapeshifter doing having that kind of personality, just being a proper prankster, trickster, just a
But
general pain in the ass.
yeah, she comes in because when he hires he tells the lawyer all this, right, this dude, and then he leaves, and then he comes back moments later and goes, do you know what, I take it all back. I'm going to drop the case. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? And
Then it turns out
it turns out it's the shapeshifter. And
she's
then
come in as the dude.
she shapeshifts as the lawyer guy, then runs out and he says something. I can't remember what she gets him to say to the one of the other staff is like, oh, I can't remember. It's something offensive, and runs
Oh,
off.
I can't remember it either, but it was fucking
It
funny.
was funny. And he
And then
comes
in the
out.
courtroom, we see this whole case go. Like they have their pre-hearing where they're going to see if it's going to trial or not, and the judge is going to make a decision, and he decides, all right, this is going to trial.
But in the beginning, they were trying to say, oh, she's got diplomatic immunity, right? And I
Yeah,
was
but
like,
he goes that look, diplomatic community on Asgard doesn't fucking count here.
yeah, which I was like, yeah. But I think, were they not going to like, was he still not going to ignore it? Because he's like, wait, is your client that stupid? There was a question asked, and I think it was the judge asked at one point, like, can you prove that your client was that
That's
stupid?
in the that's in the case.
Yeah,
This is the pre-hearing. So the trial is where that question was asked, but this in the pre-hearing, the question was whether or not it should go to a trial, and why should it go to a trial? And he's saying, look, he's this guy has been defrauded of this much money, and she's saying, no, I have diplomatic immunity, and the judge is like, okay, but no diplomatic immunity exists here because of Asgard, so whatever, this will go to trial, and then he goes because yeah, he's made his decision, and then the fucking shapeshifting elf goes up and as the judge and is like, no, actually, I take all that back, or something.
oh my god. I did go, oh, what the fuck?
Like, honestly, what a way to be a fucking idiot. Like,
And then they're like, oh,
at that point, she should have just been arrested, right? But whatever.
I think because she is an Asgardian delegate, that they couldn't be too rough with her like they would normally be with an average person.
No,
Um,
I'm just gonna go with the this is the comedic B plot, and we're not gonna take it too seriously.
yeah, and then she gets caught out and then she changes back. She's running away laughing. And I'm like,
Oh
do you know
my
what? This is
god.
stupid, but I like it. She's having a good laugh.
She's
Uh,
having a good laugh. Right, yeah.
oh,
And well, our girl Jen is the one who becomes the witness, the key witness in the trial itself. And I had a great laugh when our guy objected, and the judge says, "This is your witness."
he said, "This is your lawyer has brought your witness, and you're objecting to this. Also, you're not a lawyer, so you can't object to this."
No, the best part was where he goes, "Objection maintained," because she's waffling for too long, and he says, "Get to the point."
Did he?
He did. Don't you remember that? I was fucking dying at that.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh my god, I swear. Basically, she came on to describe her relationship with him, and it's not a romantic, like what she knows of him and how he is in relationships and what her relationship with to him in the capacity of a previous co-worker was. And she says, "Oh, he was chauvinistic, this, that, and the other. He would describe himself as a 10 or an was it
Or an
a
11
New
or
York?
something.
No, not as a New York 10, but an LA 11 or something like that." Right. My God.
I don't. I've never.
It kept going. It kept going. And then that guy fucking, he says, "Objection." And the judge is like, "This is your client. Your lawyer called your own witness. Sorry, no, you're not a lawyer. That's your lawyer. He called this witness. But objection maintained. Get to the point.
Nice. I enjoyed that.
It was
Um,
fun. I really enjoyed that. I want more scenes of them in the courtroom. I have a horrible suspicion that we're not going to get that many more going forward.
no, I
But
do like it is about She-Hulk, and though you could argue half of She-Hulk is the lawyer Jennifer Walters,
it's
uh,
got it in the title. She-Hulk,
attorney
attorney
at
at
law.
law.
Yeah, it does
I
actually say that.
want to see more of
I
this.
feel
And
that
I
they're going
would
to.
enjoy it. I would enjoy it if they go in depth a little more. They're not going to. They're keeping on this surface level. They're not going to go into depth and say, aha, but article something of the Sokovia Accords of this and that, and then all this and that. You know, they're not going to go
They're
into
not
that.
going to go in that hard kick. So
No, I
I
know.
feel
They're
like
not.
that's something that would appeal to.
They're not going to go into the fucking full legalese of it all.
No, they'll lose people like me.
Yeah, but I would enjoy that. But they're not going to. They will keep it at the surface level. We will get objections. We will get drama. We will get some. Maybe someone will break a table or something. But we're not going to get in much more depth than this.
No, I feel like that's a different type of program. But
Yeah.
it'll be like Phoenix Wright levels of drama and crazy stuff, which is
To be fair,
good.
I will enjoy that. And
And
I am enjoying this.
I'm going to say I think they're going to keep it because they have said, they've joked about it. This is going to be a lawyer thing, right? It's not going to be about superheroes. I think they are going to keep some of it. I think they're going to keep it.
I didn't get enough of it in Daredevil. I fucking loved Daredevil, where they had the whole law firm and it's like a small but it's just two dudes setting up a firm and they're enjoying themselves and they've got cases. And I enjoyed that. But then it went heavy on the whole Daredevil vengeance, conspiracies of buying land and all of that. I like Daredevil a lot, but it did get a little bit heavy.
Do you know what? That's an interesting. Do you know like NCIS and stuff like that, where they kind of go hard into the nitty gritty, and it's like more about the. It's not just the drama. It's the process.
Did you bring up NCIS?
Did I say NCIS? I mean,
Law and Order.
Law and Order. I think. But what's the one that was? Had there was one in. There was one in New York. They had a LA one.
Are you seriously bringing up CSI?
CSI, yeah.
You're seriously bringing up CSI.
So look, think about it. I loved CSI. I don't care. Screw you. I don't care, right? But Las Vegas, CSI Las Vegas. So Griffin?
Do you know that we literally had a segment of our class devoted to CSI simply because we had to be aware of the fact that it has colored the perception of juries and how evidence is presented, and that is nothing to do with how it works in real life, and that we need to be aware of that.
So, no, I don't talk about it from the law perspective, okay?
Yeah, you're talking about it from the entertainment perspective.
But crime scene investigations, right? When they're doing the forensics, because that's what it's really focusing on, right? So the forensic aspect and try to put things together, right? And do you know how that goes hard into this forensics side of things?
It goes hard into this science fiction side of things where they're like, look at this DNA, and then they do a hologram of it, and then in the same day they're like, this is the DNA of that guy. Definitely. And then they're like, it definitely means he was here, and that definitely means that also what's happening. Look, and then you go to the courtroom, and then you go to the jury and say, this DNA evidence definitely puts this guy here.
Right. I get you have issues with it, but you know,
I'm just bringing it up from that perspective. I fucking love CSI. It's fun.
It goes in hard on the forensics aspect, right? And okay, it goes into sci-fi, but like that type of show, as a lawyer, where you also happen to be a superhero, but you're instead of this where She-Hulk is going, it's going to be more superhero than lawyer. We have something that goes towards more lawyer than superhero. Like, I think that's an interesting niche that they could.
I don't think
well.
She's going to keep it up.
I
think they're going to go more superhero.
I think that's what I'm saying. Like with the She-Hulk, it's going to be more superhero than lawyer. But I'm saying if they did a show where it was that you were a lawyer and it goes in hard in the law aspect, but then it keeps in elements of the superhero aspect, that's an interesting dynamic for a show. That'd be an interesting way of doing it. So it's like CSI.
It's what I want. It's what I want She-Hulk to be. I just want to see cases, and it would be fun.
CSI, but you're the Flash. Wait, what was the Flash's actual day job? Was he not
Which
forensics?
one? I haven't seen
I
The
don't
Flash
know.
apart from the Justice League version by
Maybe one
Ezra
of them
Miller.
was like a forensics dude. I can't remember. Or maybe it was.
I've only seen
But
the
I
Ezra
just
Miller
give
version of
Flash's
The
example.
Flash.
But like you're a superhero, right? But also by day you're a lawyer or you're a forensics
That's
CS,
Daredevil.
CSI superhero.
That's Daredevil.
No, for the lawyer aspect, Daredevil.
Yeah, I know.
I'm saying like forensics.
What for forensics? Batman. Well, he's a billionaire, but he does
Yeah,
forensics in his
he
whole
does
thing.
do
He's got his
forensics,
fucking
but
science bullshit.
he uses it as being a superhero. But I'm saying your day-to-day job is doing the forensics, working for whoever, and then you go off to do the superhero aspects as well. But most of it is the
I
forensics.
suppose
CSI Superhero
Iron
Edition.
Man is the closest I can think of.
Nah, Iron Man's engineer with a fucking
Hmm.
super engineer. God damn it, I want to be like Iron Man. But then I was like, he just goes right. He makes this like super basic suit, and I'm like, how the fuck do those thrusters make this like 2-ton suit like jump even for 2 seconds?
Yeah, don't think about it.
And I was like, but I'm like, I have to because I was studying engineering at that point, right? And I'm like, I want to be able to do this. I know that you can't technically do it, and I've seen people try and replicate it, and they try to replicate like a suit that would have thrusters of some sort to keep it up, and it's like a totally massive thing, and it wouldn't look anything
It's
like
the level
Iron
of durability more than anything that I know can't be done.
Oh, anything is possible, man, and with enough time, money, and effort. But honestly, I'd love. The Iron Man suit made me go, yeah, I fucking love engineering. Watching Iron Man 1 at the end
You
of it, I was like,
distorted yourself there.
so
Yeah, Iron Man 1 is still one of the best movies.
Iron Man 1, I watched that, and the end of it, I was like, I want to make a fucking Iron Man suit. This is why I do engineering. I want to make fucking crazy shit like that. And then he had a supercomputer and stuff like that back, and then he fucking he exponentially the level of technology increased exponentially, and then eventually he was making fucking nano suits that just
Nano
appear
machines.
yeah, nano machines. Iron Man was so good, but back to episode 3, talking about the whole lawyer aspect, in this case, this kind of B story.
The B story was more interesting than the A story. That's the sad part.
Yeah, do you know what it was? I enjoyed it. It was a good laugh. And then we go back to the A story where she does the
abominations parole hearing
thing.
Which is as fucking straightforward as it goes. You got a panel of judges, and you know, they just go like, well, we don't see any evidence of him being, they're like, well, he's broken out of prison. What do you say about that? And she's like, enter Wong, and then Wong portaled himself in late, and he's like, I stole him. And then they're like, all right, well, okay. And he's good apparently, and he chose to came back. Okay, well, he's out. By the way, you've just admitted to committing an offense, and then he just pulled out.
He's like, yeah, but outside of your jurisdiction, mate. I'm out of here.
Nice. It's fucking Wong. Like, they can't do anything to him.
They can't do jack shit.
He's too sick to be caught.
Yeah, and I knew it was coming. I was like, they're gonna say something because he broke him out of jail. And then he did, and he's just like, yeah, bye.
It's just like, later losers, and it's just orange portal, and he walks through it, and I was dying laughing. I was just like, fucking yes, this is exactly how it would go down. And like, fuck this.
I mean, I knew as soon as he came in, I knew how it was going to go down. Yeah. I knew they'd ask him, and I knew he'd just pour out because there's no way he's going to fucking stay for that.
The only way he could have done it better is if he did like a proper Chris. What's that one? Fucking the one who plays as Star-Lord, Peter Quill.
Star-Lord.
Fuck, I've forgotten which Chris is he. He's not Chris Evans.
No. He was in
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. That's it.
Chris Pratt. Right. Yeah. If he did done a jump backwards through the portal while just giving the middle finger, like that would have been the best way out.
See you, motherfucker. As he jumps backwards.
Exactly.
That would have taken I think that would have taken attention too much away from what was happening in the case and stuff.
I don't give a shit. That would have been the best exit.
But yeah, and then we actually see the abomination change into the abomination and show that he can still control himself when he's
And also
changed.
that changing into the abomination does in fact rip his clothes.
It does. He gets totally naked, and he
He,
has a blanket to cover himself when he changes back.
yeah, thanks to a couple of discretionary camera angles, we never see him nude. In fact, what
Yeah,
they do is they just give him a towel or a blanket or something, and he
and
comes
covers
wraps
him.
himself up, and they're like, "And for God's sake, get this man some clothes."
And I was like, this is interesting. Wait, this isn't happened with the Hulk or She-Hulk. What the fuck? But they've done
Well,
it with the
The
Abomination.
Hulk has stretchy trousers, and She Hulk has plot clothes.
She has plot. They should, I suppose, because they've not given her a super outfit
Like
yet.
I said earlier on in the same recording, which has been going on for some time now that I think about it, but like I
It
said
has.
earlier on, I am not going to complain about them not breaking her clothes because, frankly, it's a show that's going to be aimed at a younger audience.
But they
It's
could have made it. They had him break his clothes in the same out thing, so they could
Yeah,
make
but
it
it was all off
okay.
camera. It's not like it's not like when he's the abomination, he's waving a massive dick around or anything. It's
Yeah,
all
I mean,
not
I
there.
noticed that he
He's
doesn't have
like
anything there. Yeah,
he's got Ken doll anatomy.
but I'm just saying that she could.
He's basically Freezer.
I just like they could have had her with just an undersuit. They've had the conversation.
I
Uh,
reckon when we get to some later fights, it might go that way, but it's not going to be,
I
just
mean,
like
maybe it's they're doing it on purpose. Maybe it's an inside joke, and then it will start to rip when she has her superhero suit, because that has to come out easily, doesn't it? When she wears the
yeah.
superhero suit, it has to show. So the way it will show is that she'll just hulk
So
up.
her superhero outfit is like the sort of one piece, isn't it?
I think so. I've seen some images of it flying about. I think it was in trailers or something.
I'm just trying to think of what I've seen in Marvel vs. Capcom, which was many years ago anyway.
I mean, I don't know if it's going to match. Um,
But also they've done a thing where it's like the last episode is where Miss Marvel got her outfit properly. So I
uh,
reckon something similar will happen here.
so I feel like I have. Well, see here, right? I don't know if
What does that
this.
say?
What is this? I go green so you can get green. This can't be real. What is this?
Is that an
Oh,
advert?
that's an advert for her firm. I don't know if this is real. What is this? Oh,
It says
YouTube.
uploaded by Marvel Entertainment.
Oh,
I
okay.
guess
And
it's
that's
real.
her suit. That looks like Under Armour type wear.
To be fair,
Base
if
wear. Makes
as a
sense.
modern reversioning, makes sense.
No, I mean that's what I'm saying. She could literally just wear
Yeah.
that just now. Basically have. Oh, we'll get to the.
You are dying to get to that.
It's not. I'm not dying to. I was like, someone had mentioned it somewhere. I'm like, right, I'm not gonna watch this YouTube video. I'm gonna watch the episode first because this looks interesting.
I imagine there are a whole bunch of really angry piss babies on the internet right now about that scene.
Uh it was. Hey man, I'm not gonna complain. Seeing I mean, she was wearing her office wear. Could have been
Uh,
could have been a bit better, but hey, I'm not gonna complain. Got to see some giant She-Hulk twerking.
I'm not going to complain, and I'm not going to praise it either. It's just a nothing scene at the end of the show, which
It's
I
a
believe was made more to promote this
um
Instagram guest
the
star.
Stallion, Megan the Stallion
Yeah,
song. Yeah, do you know
yeah.
what? Yeah, I'm not gonna say it is a bit cringe, right? But they're having fun. I feel like they're just having a laugh with these
Actually,
episodes.
that's what I wanted to say most of all. I feel like they're enjoying making this show,
Yeah,
and
and
I always enjoy it when I know the people are enjoying it. Because if you feel someone enjoying something, you enjoy it as well.
yeah, and I
It's very
think
easy to get caught up in like their wave of positive energy.
yeah, and again, episode 3 was a good laugh.
But I have just been reminded of one thing which I did think took me out of the show a bit, which was there was a moment in episode 3 where they got a bunch of like tweets from the internet. And they
Okay.
showed it on the screen, and it was like, "Get your own female hero" or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, there was actually someone. There was comments that were asked. Oh yeah, was it in a tweet or was it?
So it was in the show. Now, at the time, I was like, "This is very clearly just aimed at, like I said, those sort of piss babies on the internet who make snide remarks and such." I don't care one way or the other. I'm very agnostic about this sort of thing nowadays. I just don't care. I
For
just want to watch
me,
a show and that's it. But what I did think about that, I don't think it should have been in the show simply because it took me out of it. Because it didn't fit in the universe of the show itself. The comments seemed more like what you will see in the real internet on Twitter.
well, Twitter specifically, I feel like
Yeah,
not.
Twitter.
So,
And just that sort of angry, seething hatred.
but it just seemed,
Uh,
yeah. I
but it
mean,
it doesn't make sense in the universe where it's not like she chose to be a superhero. It's just something that
it,
happened. It's not something they make. And there were the comments were exactly like, make your own heroes or make original ones, and I'm like, these are the sort of comments you see in real life. These are not the comments I would expect in that universe. Was it supposed to be a fourth wall break? I don't know if it was or not.
so for me personally, I'm like, yeah, this is a bit stupid. It just seemed a bit stupid. It didn't seem. It didn't make
To me, it just raises more questions than anything. I was
like
just like, I don't understand if this is a joke or if this is. I understand that they want to show that they don't think highly of the kinds of people who make these jokes. Sorry, not jokes,
yeah,
comments.
comments.
Comments. They don't think highly of the sort of people who make those comments, and fair enough. That's fair, but it just didn't feel congruent with the show itself.
No,
Is what I was thinking.
it kind of like so. This comic, the She-Hulk stuff, originated ages ago, right? The original comic wherever she first appeared,
Well, as
and
you mentioned to me, there was a '90s cartoon.
yeah, and this is an established character since then. So if they're aiming this, if people are like, nobody is saying you've taken, why are you making a female version of the Hulk? It's like a
No, and in fact, some of the comments are literally saying that.
yeah. So like in Twitter in real life, it's like
No, so here's the thing. I learned this afterwards. But those tweets that were in the show, the
yeah,
reason they felt more like real Twitter rather than something in the show is because they actually just took them from Twitter
I
and put them
seriously.
in the show. I'm not
Wow.
joking. They actually did that.
Wow. Wait, can they do that? Ah, it's public. Yeah, I suppose you
It's
can.
public. Who gives a fuck? Yeah.
No, I'm
Um,
thinking about legal thing, and I was like, yeah, it's public, so therefore you
well, are
can
you going
use
to
it.
lay copyright to the tweets you put?
No, well, you're the lawyer, can you?
I
Now, I was just
don't know.
thinking
I
about
don't know, to be honest.
whenever you take something that someone has said, you always have to be a bit careful and think about it before you just plaster it in your
Yeah,
Disney
but
Plus TV show. You know
I
what I mean?
have to I have to wonder about that. I don't know. I studied copyright law once
I don't
a
think,
long
I
time
think
ago.
if it is public on Instagram or any
I've never
social
used it.
media,
Yeah.
right, you can do what you can take that and you can show that, right? Which
I
is
imagine so. Fair use,
yeah, because
suppose.
people do it in the news as well to show what people have been when they're talking
Hmm.
about people in tweets and stuff like that. Um,
But
interesting.
yeah,
It
but
just
yeah,
seems
I did see later on that what happened was they had actually just taken some tweets from Twitter when they announced She-Hulk, and those
ah
they just put that
what they said.
on
Don't
in the
take.
show.
Yeah, I
Mm.
feel like they're trying to. Now, there's always going to be people like that. I don't know how many
Mm.
people like that, but I think a lot of people are just annoyed because they're taking the She-Hulk and showing her in a light that they don't agree with, right? And if, to each their own. I'm not going to say they're wrong or right or whatever. How you go about disputing that and talking about it is a different story. You should always be civil and not be like rude and well, but that's
What
Twitter. Okay.
the only thing that I'm trying to understand is, was it supposed to be a fourth wall break where it talks about the response that you got from real life people, or is it supposed to be in universe? Because it doesn't make any sense to me in universe.
No, it doesn't. Um, and I think it's like the thing in episode one where she tells
Just to just
Bruce.
to just to make the point, I'm going to send you the comparison screenshots which I found.
Oh my
So
god.
the top one there is the tweets that were made on Twitter or Facebook. I don't know what it was. And the bottom is what it was in the show.
Uh, I mean, there is people that say, and I'm not. I don't know. Uh...
So I don't understand. That was the only thing that bothered me. I thought that was a joke that didn't make sense even in the context of the show itself, unless it's supposed to be a fourth wall break.
You know what? Nah, I'm getting what you're saying now because they were like relevant to people being like, "Why have you done this with the Marvel universe
Mm.
in real life? Why is this happening?" And whereas in the context of the show, it's just like, "Why does everything have to be female now?" And you're like, what are you talking about?"
Yeah, it
I
doesn't
just
make
became
sense.
the fucking She-Hulk. I didn't choose. A writer did not write me to into life.
That's where the fourth wall aspects come in.
Uh,
The meta
yeah.
aspects of the show.
I
And
I feel like they do that sometimes where it's just like there's bits where you're like, this seems
yeah, like where she in the same
fired.
episode where she said, "Don't forget this is my show. It's not the Wong. It's not the Wong show. It's not the Bruce Banner show. It's not the Abomination
I
show. It's
I
She-Hulk."
I don't mind that because it's kind
I
of
like
funny
that.
because
Yeah.
she does fourth wall breaks. That's in the original comic she does that, and that was fun. She no what she said is don't think there's going to be cameos in every episode,
Yeah,
and she's
that's
like
the one.
unlike
Yeah,
Abomination and the Hulk in most episodes,
it's still the
and
She-Hulk show.
yeah, what else did she say? There was a couple of others. She's like, wait,
Wong.
Wong. It's like, oh, it is the She-Hulk show, right? And I like that, right?
Wait a
Because
minute, but there was one fourth wall break where she was addressing the audience while she was driving, and she just fucking took her hands off the steering
yeah,
wheel.
it was.
I was like, "What the fuck?"
It was that one. It was that one.
Was that the one? I
Yeah.
thought she was walking in the office when she made that one.
No, no, it was when she was in
Oh
the
man, I
car.
need to.
And
I'm
I
not gonna go
remember be
back and
going,
check.
I'm like, wait, your car keeps driving. You've taken your hands off the.
The
Even I was
car's
just like,
assumed autopilot. It's like we must not crash while she's doing this.
it's part of the fourth wall break. Like it
Yeah.
continues the loop, doesn't it? I don't know. I like that. But there is some things. The conversation she had with Bruce in the beginning, where she's like, you know, you've not had it as bad as me and stuff like that. Just those
No,
things.
as I said, I thought that one made sense from her character, her
But those
experiences,
there,
and everything, and also as I thought it was to set her up as like over in she's over she's
arrogant
making
about
mistakes.
yeah. So for me, I felt it was a bit it was a bit much for me, right? Um,
Hmm.
she could have said the same things, but slightly differently. I think it's just the what she said rather than it was some of the things that she said, not the whole thing. Like having that conversation, saying that makes sense in her character. If they're going to go with the arc where she learns that you know what, first of all, she appreciates Bruce a lot more for what he's gone through because of what she's going through, and then she grows from it. Because another thing in episode 3, which was interesting, and we've skipped over, was there's a bit where she's walking home from work.
Oh, hang on. Let's not talk about that because I think that's setting up future plot points. To address what she was saying to Bruce, though, I think that it was episode two's preview, which actually solidified it for me that yes, we are actually supposed to not be on his side for that because it starts the preview by showing that scene where she says, I can't even remember exactly what she said, but it was like, I've been through this and that. And then Bruce says to her, "You're making a mistake." "No, I'm not." And then immediately she gets whammed in the courtroom or something. Is how the preview was structured. And to me, it was like, yeah, you are making mistakes.
Yeah,
The
fair enough.
structure of that preview to me, for episode two, the episode one recap, basically was like saying to me that yes, she was over her head about all of this, and
She had a
the
naive
the
view of what she
the
thought.
s- exactly, and the
Yeah,
subsequent story that we're going to watch will
show
bring
that.
her back down to earth again.
So yeah, but I mean that's it. I've enjoyed it. Do you know? And I do like if there wasn't so much discussion about this, I maybe not have, I wouldn't have watched this, and I might not be
I
enjoying it as much.
enjoy
I
I
like the
enjoy the
discussion.
discussion.
Yeah.
So do I. I have been saying this for a long time. Part of the enjoyment of these shows is the zeitgeist around it. I would not be able to enjoy movies like Endgame and that much now. Like, sure, I can watch it, but it's not got the same level of impact when you don't have a large audience of people also enjoying it at the same time. And this is not the same as going to a cinema and having them go, yeah, all at once. I am not talking about that. What I'm saying is having a group of like minded, or even not like minded, people who've watched the thing and then talking about it with them.
Yeah, this is the first time in a long time that I've watched
Now
something
you've
that
actually watched something
not
concurrently.
anime, right? Because anime I
And
watch,
movies,
and
you've watched movies at the same time, but this
yeah,
is a lot. First time you've seen a series concurrently.
a series is different though because it's coming episodically. It's like Dragon
Yeah,
Ball Z. When everyone was watching Dragon Ball Z, was into anime because there wasn't that many anime back in the day, and everyone's chatting about it. And
mate.
there's all the thing.
The funniest one was fucking WandaVision because everyone was convinced that the bad guy would be Mephisto and he would show up at some point, and it never happened. And Mephisto has now become a shorthand for fans over indulging in theories and coming up with wrong ones, which are probably wrong.
But there's fun in that as well.
There
If you,
is fun
yeah,
in that.
like so I am enjoying it, and I like the different people's points of views. I get people are unhappy with it. I
Even
get
the
people who are
piss
happy with it.
babies who get angry, and that comes from both sides of the equation, both sides of the fence. If you're getting angry about it, whether you're for or against it, you're a piss baby.
Hey, I mean, I'm not. I'm a bit different. I can understand people getting angry over it, but for me, like you
I
have to.
can't I can't get that level of angry or even that level of emotional about it.
So
Like
it's
anything.
not something close to my heart. The Marvel universe isn't something that I have properly grown up with in a way that a lot of other people have. I didn't read the comic books. I got into the '90s cartoons, but I wasn't heavily into it. So
Here's the
like,
thing. Here's the thing. For me, I would say that I'm a big fan. I love the Marvel movies. But I don't think that they're sacred or like, anything like that. They don't need to be perfect. They're not perfect. They're far from perfect. And they don't need to be anything apart from what they are. They're just popcorn entertainment. They're safe wastes of time. You know, you know what you're getting with them. You can sit down and you can watch a movie which will be largely inoffensive for about 2 hours or so. Or you can sit down with a series and watch it and it'll be largely inoffensive for about 4 hours or 6 hours or so.
so
And there you are.
for me, I think a lot of people what they complain about the aspects, things that are kind of like included in the storylines and how things are portrayed, and I can see why people would not be happy with it, and they just don't. Nowadays, the people who are not happy with these type of movies that used to be, they just don't watch it, which is fine. If you don't like it, don't watch it. I can, but
Exactly.
I'm a bit more sympathetic. I can see where people are coming from, and I'll give an example of look, when someone makes a movie or an adaptation, it's an adaptation. It doesn't necessarily ruin the source material, right? It's just what it is.
Yes.
Drag,
The source material is still
but
there.
I'll tell you something that pissed me off, right? Dragon Ball Evolution. Fuck that movie. That was
But
shit. But
yes,
it's the
that
same
movie
thing where
was.
it's like,
Look,
it's a
that
movie.
movie. Look, first of all, Dragon Ball Evolution was a perfect, a perfect excuse, right, for Hollywood to make a movie and be like, let's make money off of this brand. Because it's got the Dragon Ball name on it, and Dragon Ball was shit hot back then, right? Well, actually, no, it had sort of fallen off for a while by that point,
Yeah.
but they wanted to capitalize on the brand, Dragon Ball. And they, it's also very indicative of the mindset of executives where they're just like, where's a draft script that's lying around somewhere? We'll just use that and put some Dragon Ball characters in it. So you got Goku going to school with failing grades and getting bullied. And he loses his grandfather because obviously his grandfather's going to die. And
Well,
then he
not.
has to hunt the bullshit to get the wishes to get his grandfather back. So there you are. You've got your typical story of a dude losing a loved one and he also gets bullied in school and doesn't get the girl. But then he goes on an adventure and learns lessons.
He blows out. Let me just point out. He blows out candles using the Kamehameha. That's how he trains.
With the
Oh,
power of bonus.
and I'm pretty sure Piccolo was like a weird shade of yellow instead of green. He looked. Maybe I watched a pre-production version of the thing because I watched an interesting version of the movie. I didn't go
I
to the
just
cinema.
want to say, if you want to watch Dragon Ball Evolution, it is on Disney Plus.
Oh my! What?
I'm not joking, it is.
Why? Why is it a Disney
It's
one
there.
thing? It's
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Disney
the Disney
Disney
thing.
owns the movie rights to Dragon Ball.
Oh,
A
well,
live action Dragon Ball, that is, anyway. It came with part of Fox, I believe.
oh my God.
But they
I can
also have
understand.
Kung Pao, which is a more entertaining movie with less budget and better fights.
Interesting, but that I look at that movie and that genuinely annoyed me, and I'm like, what the fuck? But
Talking
I've
about
still got
superhero movies,
yes.
I find it hilarious that Dragon Ball Evolution was only 4 years before Man of Steel, and Man of Steel fucking perfected the Dragon Ball Z action sequence.
What the kind of fucking super fast fighting and
Yep.
jumping about, and I've never really
If
made
you
that correlation in my head.
there's a fucking excellent edited video on YouTube where someone took the fight sequence from Man of Steel and the fight sequence at the end of Batman vs Superman and edited it to have Dragon Ball Z music and sound effects, and it is brilliant.
So Hollywood could make a good Dragon Ball Z movie or Dragon Ball
If
movie.
they tried, they could do the action now. They
Like
can.
follow the story of the anime, but put superhero movie action in there. Job done. Uh,
But
uh,
like, I also think that, and this is really going besides She-Hulk. I don't know what you're going to title this video, right?
May,
Because we're supposed to talk about
do you know?
She-Hulk, but we've talked
I
about
was
everything and
I
She-Hulk.
was thinking of editing this, right? But I'm not. I'm gonna put it in as is because
Brilliant.
fuck it.
Okay, anyway, as I was saying, I think that Marvel has shown that people are okay with weird things. You can get weird. Aliens, sure. Magic, why not? Magic stones, go for it. Destructions of entire planets, yeah,
Yes.
you can go for it. You don't need to be like, nah, audiences won't watch this. They won't like this. We need to make it relatable. No, fuck off. We want to watch these stories to escape from the shitness of real life, right? We watch Dragon Ball to see, well, a power fantasy. But we also enjoy the journey of the characters, especially
And
Goku.
and the visuals,
The action.
the action, the set pieces.
That's the power fantasy, isn't it? But man, fucking what a power fantasy. What kid doesn't want to be able to shoot nuclear blasts from his hands?
I it's yes. I'm guilty
And
of that
get
too.
flung through mountains at high speeds.
What adult doesn't want to
To shoot nuclear
blast? It doesn't change. You just pretend that you don't want to anymore.
That's why I keep saying I'm 20 years old forever.
I'm fucking 10 for but do you know what? I think look, you talked about we don't need to have what do you call it? Relatability all the time, right? That I
Yeah.
think that's the issue. That a lot of the Marvel stuff, most of it, like it is. I mean, we've talked about how She-Hulk is relatable. They that's what they kind of go for a lot of the movies, and it's hard with anime where they have to kind of like step back from that and try and be more anime, but live action.
I will say that I don't think Hollywood, Netflix, and even Bollywood, like fuck off, don't make any anime adaptations, please.
Yeah.
Maybe Bollywood can, but none of the
Oh,
others,
that would be
please.
special in a different way. That would be.
Yeah, they are the closest to that kind of absurdist physics right now.
And somehow they tie it in to like make it entertaining and not just
Yeah.
like outright. I mean, it is outright madness, but it's still it's still
They're so
entertaining.
tongue in cheek. They're so tongue in cheek about it that you can't help but enjoy it.
But yes. So I think we've been going on for 2 hours and almost 20 minutes.
Bloody hell!
So what are your closing thoughts on the first 3 episodes?
I think they're good. They're fun. They're enjoyable. You do need to turn your brain off a little bit, and if you have certain political leanings, this show may not be for you. In which case, I would say if you know you're going to be annoyed by it, don't watch it. You have time. You only have a limited time on this earth. Why would you go about spending it watching things you know you're not going to enjoy?
Cool. Well, for me,
I do enjoy it. I'm fine with it. and I don't go to these movies to have them proselytized to me anyway. Series rather. If they're going to, they can do it in the background. But I'm here just to watch a gigantic green woman style on some idiots,
Yes.
and I'm getting that. I'm
Yeah.
also here for the law firm parts of the show, and those parts so far have been satisfactory. Yeah, it's an all right time. It's a fun 30, 40 minutes per week.
So for me, I have quite a different view in a certain way. I'm enjoying it. This is fun. I'm enjoying it more because of the chat around it and the interest in it. I do look. I do like myself a big green woman beating the shit out of people. This is my type of thing. I do quite like the character. Um, I've enjoyed this overall, but I'm enjoying more just the chat around it and seeing what other people's views on it, and it's fun. It's what Kuxel has been talking about, being part of the zeitgeist and watching things episodically.
Hmm.
There are some things that niggle at me about. I was like, really, I'm enjoying this experience, watching it week by week, chatting about it with yourself, Kuxel, seeing the discourse and the chat, and seeing where we go with it. So I'm looking forward to I presume, the second half of this series to see where they go.
I hope it's more than 6 episodes long because I don't know where it's going with this right now.
It's probably somewhere where they'll say, um, 6 foot 7. Um, but but yeah, however long this is, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this ride. A lot of people are interested in this series. I feel a lot more than usual for or maybe I've just not been following the zeitgeist with other
I
series.
think the fact that it's courted controversy has actually brought a lot of attention to it. No such thing as bad publicity after all.
Eh, yeah, in 99% of cases, that is true, and it's got me watching it, so can't complain. I'm eager to see where this goes. I'm eager to see how her character develops. I'm hoping it's a satisfying arc. Um, but yeah, enjoying the chat, and I plan. So yeah, overall, this is fun. Maybe more because everyone's chatting about it. We can talk about this and say our bits and what our opinions are than the show itself. But yeah, eager to see the next step, the rest of the series, and I think I'll do another one of these at the end so we can talk about how we feel
I
with
don't
the.
understand how some people have done an episode. I say an episode, I mean a video per episode of She-Hulk or something like that. I
We
see it sometimes in my YouTube in my YouTube feed, and I'm like,
Sorry, did you just say YouTube feet?
I
Was
did
that a
say YouTube feet.
that was Freudian
You
slip
would
there?
like to believe this man would like to have you believe that it was some kind of Freudian
That was a
slip, but
Freudian slip there after us.
it was not a Freudian slip. It was in fact a spoonerism.
I don't know. Uh,
YouTube feed. So, some people have been dropping multiple videos for this show, and I'm like, why are you still talking about this? Especially people who I know. I haven't watched their video on it, but I know that they don't like this just by what they normally like. And I'm like, you're still watching the show though. You're putting out video after video, and obviously it's because it's going to get views, and then they get money from it, and so on. But yeah, there's a lot of discourse, and I forgot what point I was trying to make. I kind of dropped off after the YouTube feed thing.
um, I don't know, but look, part of the reason why I'm doing this is because there's a lot of discourse, and I thought it'd be
Zeitgeist. Yes,
the
Zeitgeist is
zeitgeist.
fun.
It is.
Zeitgeist is always fun.
Yeah, I'm doing this because I thought it would get some interest as well, and it's interesting to chat about it. And it's interesting that we both. I know you said that you quite enjoyed it. It's like, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this. And I watched it. I was like, this is all right. This is not bad. I'm having a laugh.
I
Um,
haven't. There hasn't been a single Marvel product yet which I haven't enjoyed on some level. Some are better than others, obviously, but on the whole, they all reach some base level of quality.
I'm a bit more. I don't know actually. I can't think of any movie that I went, oh, I didn't like that. So maybe it's the same
Yeah,
for me.
I honestly think you. I honestly think you let your preconceived notions get to you more than the show itself. Like,
I I will
just
admit
go
that
and watch it. Just go and watch whatever, and you'll probably have a good time. And
from
even if it's not as good as you were hoping, it's not so bad as you'll be like, yeah, that was a total waste. Now, I will upset some people with this, but I have had one movie which I really, really did not enjoy watching, and that was Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition. It's 3 hours long, and by God, it feels longer than that.
I've not seen
I liked.
that edition.
There's a lot of online arguments about DC versus MCU and all that sort of stuff. Especially the Zack Snyder version of the movies.
Mm.
Now, I liked Man of Steel. I thought it was all right. It's not the best movie in the world, but you know, it's fine. And the action is fucking great, honestly. Like, as you to use one of your own terms, it's porn for the eyes.
Yeah, that one of my terms. Okay.
Yeah, that's I have credited that to you.
Cool.
Right. That's your catchphrase. I like Man of Steel. It's a good movie. It kind of misses the point of Superman, but it's a good movie. It's fun to watch, and the action's great. Batman vs Superman, though, is fucking terrible. God damn it! I can't even begin to describe how god awful that movie is.
I thought it was alright. I didn't
Nah,
think it was
man.
great. I just went
Uh,
whatever.
so in the run up to the release of the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, I went back and I watched Man of Steel, and then Batman vs Superman, and then Wonder Woman, uh, to prepare myself for and Justice League, the original version, just to prepare myself for the 4 hour movie that was going to come out. And I enjoyed Man of Steel. I did not enjoy Batman vs Superman. I enjoyed Wonder Woman, and I even enjoyed the old Justice League. It was all right. Although people on the internet who really defend the new one, it is an improvement. The 4 hour version. I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
Zack Snyder's Justice League. It is a solid improvement over the other Justice League movie. Having said that, it's still a movie about getting some magic boxes to revive Superman. It's not amazing. It's not high art. It's not anything more than that. There's a bad guy. He comes from space and wrecks some shit. So the Justice League come together and they get some magic boxes, which the bad guys want as well, to revive Superman. And then they go fight the bad guy and drive him away from the Earth in the end. The summary of both movies is the same. The Snyder Cut version is much better because it adds more depth to these characters. And when you have a 6-man team, and let me just check that I'm right, you have Superman, you have Batman, you have the Flash, you have Cyborg, you have Wonder Woman. Who's the 6th man? You have a 5-man team. Am I
Yeah.
forgetting someone? I feel like I'm forgetting someone.
Wait, Aquaman. Did you say Aquaman?
No. Aquaman. So there's a 6-man team. I completely forgot about Aquaman. And
I mean, how
watched this
can you?
movie.
Fucking Jason Momoa is awesome.
I totally forgot about him. But yeah, you have a 6-man team. You need to give them time. And very clearly, they didn't give Aquaman enough time. Even in the 4 hour version. But yeah, that is a marked improvement. But it also left like plot threads hanging where it's like, and in the future, this will happen if we bother to make a movie that follows this up. And I don't think they will.
It just didn't happen. It didn't. Though the DC stuff happening around DC's changing because
My brother
of...
and I honestly think DC are cursed. Like, they
Yeah,
don't seem to be able to put out something without some level of controversy or bullshit happening around it, which is not necessarily the fault of the filmmakers,
no.
but it ends up just fucking the whole thing up.
But also, and I've heard of other people that you think when and back in I think traditional, if you thought superhero,
You thought
Superman,
Batman and
Batman,
Superman.
yeah, like those are the first ones that come to mind. Then you got Spider-Man and stuff like that. But like, definitely they have some of the most well-known superheroes in the world, right? In terms of IP, and it's just like they've tried to emulate the whole Marvel Universe stuff, and they've been struggling. But that is a chat for another day because I realize we're hitting about 2.5 hours, and we're now talking about DC instead of
Fucking hell, man. We're actually
She-Hulk.
going to end up making the video as long as one of these movies.
Yes, there you go. You can watch this, so you can watch a movie or probably the whole series of She-Hulk. So you choose. But you know what? This was a good discussion. I mean, I wanted an excuse to talk to you about this in a bit more detail. We've just going to be messaging at each other about it every time we watch it. And this was fun. I plan to do, as I've said before, I plan to do another one of these at the end. And then we can just kind of have a chat, see what format we use. If it's another 3 episodes, we can talk about it episodically, or we can just, if it's longer, we can just kind of give our overall thoughts and about the series after episode 3 and stuff. But yeah, I think we will leave it there.
Why? Because we never got to that scene.
What scene?
Do you want to move your tab over
Oh
to
my
the?
god, I forgot the scene.
See,
Right.
that's how inconsequential this scene was.
Yeah, it
It doesn't
was.
matter.
All I'm gonna say is She-Hulk
It was a
got an
bit dumb.
ass. I was like,
Yeah. I
that's an
don't know enough about the character to say whether this was good, bad, or whatever. It was certainly a scene.
it was an egg. It was something that when people were talking had mentioned this in our I just seen like thumbnails. I didn't even look into the videos because I wanted to watch this myself. I was like, oh, is this in the main thing? It's not even in the main part of the episode. It's just a little
No, it's
extra. It's a
in
nice
it's
little
the post
extra.
credits scene,
Yeah.
yeah. And
And you
post
know what?
credits scenes aren't necessarily part of the show anyway.
Nah,
They're just a
it
little
was a little
extra.
bit of fun. It
Yeah.
was and I'm like, yeah, man, whatever. It's funny. So the twerking scene. This
I
might be an
also I
infamous
also
twerking
found
scene.
it I also found it interesting that they tried to make the guest star as tall as She-Hulk is by way of those ridiculous heels and perspective.
Oh, didn't really think about it because she is 6'7", isn't she? About
Yeah.
and she's wearing flat. She's wearing flat shoes as well instead of.
Well, you
I don't know
would.
what she.
She's in office attire.
Do you not have heels on
I
even
mean,
in the
I don't.
office?
I don't.
Do you ever feel like wearing heels? You know what I'm
I
talking.
personally I personally wouldn't. I feel like they look uncomfortable.
They are uncomfortable, and that's why I don't understand why most
People wear
people
them,
who
yeah.
wear them.
They wear them to
Um,
make themselves look taller. That's it, isn't it?
and also it defines your calves more, your calf muscles, because they are
At
under.
which point you're just putting them under strain.
You are, but it looks good, and whatever. But it is what it is. Yeah, flat shoes has probably helped having her in high heels, and then the perspective. And I really thought about that, but it looks better, doesn't it, when they're kind of aligned doing it, rather than they having her looking tiny compared to 7 foot 6'7" She-Hulk. Anyway, I
I don't
saw that.
know. I don't know. I'm just saying what I saw.
I find that as like I didn't even think about that, so it's kind of interesting how you pointed that out. But yeah, it was a nice little, it was a funny little extra. Um, I didn't see a problem with that. It's just a little, it was an after post credit
I
scene.
think people are arguing about this on the internet, to which again I have to say, piss babies.
I don't know. I mean, it's fun to discuss and argue. Well, as long as you're not, and this is a problem. Unfortunately, it gets really bad, right, and gets uncivilized. We'll say, right, to put it in a nice way. But hey,
I
people,
don't, I just don't know how people can bring themselves to care that much.
do you know? And this might be kind of slightly controversial, but I feel that um, it's a bit like it's a bit like a religion in a sense. People that you grow up with these stories that help to form your kind of thoughts and things, right? When you read the comic books and stuff like that, or anime when I was little, and these stories are close to your heart. And even though, I mean, stories historically, you think of the Greek mythology, right? You're not a god, so you're not going to. But these stories they teach you things, and you learn things from the stories that you hear of Greek mythology, right? And that's the idea is that it teaches you about lessons in life by using these larger than life characters or gods in Greek mythology.
Heroes and villains, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like we have replaced. This is mythology.
This is our modern
Yeah,
mythology, is what you're
modern
saying.
mythology, and that's why people get so passionate about it because it's stuff that's close to their heart and that's helped them and form
Maybe
their
I'm coming
opinions.
at this, yeah, maybe I'm coming at this from the wrong perspective. Maybe it's a good thing that they get not angry, but shall I say passionate about this.
And they talk about it, and you know what? It brings it to the fore. I mean, a lot of people have some what I think are bad takes, but it brings this discussion to the fore, and we're
The
talking about it
problem,
now.
I think the problem is that some people will always just have bad takes. It's not such that they want something to succeed or they want something to fail, even. It's just that they just want to create controversy where there may not be any. And
Those
this is a show which is also trying to create some controversy, and I have to admit that it is definitely provoking certain types of individuals. And,
I mean, it's working. It's became
I just see
talked
that as a
about.
business move.
Yeah, I mean,
If you want people to talk about your show, get some people to get angry about it.
it's
Then they'll go and they'll make videos which will promote the show to other people.
and other people be like, "What is this that people are talking about?" And people
Why
Um,
is X person
yeah,
angry? Oh, because of Y? Then I shall watch it definitely because my opinion is Z.
and I have watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos on this talking about different aspects of the show. And do you know what? I'm going to watch this.
Well,
Um,
at the very least, here's one aspect of the legal world which She-Hulk has done. It manages to make you learn about things you would not have learned about before. I never knew who this woman, Megan the Stallion, was before, and now thanks to She-Hulk, I do. I'm not particularly thankful for this, but here we go.
hey, if someone
That's where we are.
mentions it, if someone from Gen Z mentions her, I'll be like, oh, I've heard of
Oh,
that
I
person.
know Megan the Stallion.
She
She
was
was
on
the woman
She-Hulk.
who was on She-Hulk.
She did the
Yeah.
twerk thing. What's that twerk thing? The thing that, you know,
And you know what? You can then piss off people because you can piss off people in the same way that people who are like, "Oh, that's Goku from Fortnite."
oh my god. And on that fucking oh my god, why did you even have to fucking mention that? God. Anyway, we'll end
And
it
on that
there.
note,
Yeah, on that horrible note, we won't go into detail about that. We'll
I
leave it
think I'll
there.
put him off.
Oh,
I'm gonna go grab a Coke.
we have but yeah, we'll leave it there. This was great. Thanks again, Kuxel, for coming on to this and giving your insight. It really makes a difference. I would have just waffled for about 5 hours instead of 2.5.
There, you need someone to rein you in.
Yes. So yeah, look forward to another video when the series has ended where we chat about it. But for now, we'll leave it there. I am Ash Mannix,
I'm Kuxel.
and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Later, everyone. I'm grabbing a Coke.